The guy who played the guy off I Dream of Jeannie's dead. Is he the same guy that was in Dallas?
And he was the same guy
Shit.
that was in Bewitched.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. No, he
was.
wasn't.
Didn't you know?
You're an idiot. He wasn't. Why did he come all Texan all of a sudden? He was like an Air Force stooge in the first one.
What, in the first what?
He's playing his character.
In the first what? In the first...
I Dream of Jeannie.
What, do you think Dallas is a sequel to I Dream of Jeannie? Did you think Dallas was a sequel?
How else did he become a billionaire, Campbell?
Hello and welcome to Fangin' Around. This is episode 31, recording this on the 26th of November 2012. Once that rustling is Campbell dropping some Maggie D's.
I gotta do a confession. I went to Coles tonight to pick up a cake for my partner to eat. She requested a cake.
I'm just getting into these, by the way, Campbell.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Thanks.
They're only going to melt. And I was there, and I walked past the frozen food section, all right? Box of Magnums. These are full-size Magnums, okay? These aren't the minis. Box of 4 Magnums for $4.
Dang.
Yeah, so I bought 4 boxes. I mean, what the fuck am I supposed to do, right? How can you walk away from that? So anyway, dear listener, if you hear us munching schlump, I bought a box of 4 Magnums. And then as soon as I got home, I was like, shit, are these even going to fit in the freezer? What am I supposed to do
I bought a
with all
box
these?
of 16 mangoes on Sunday. Same kind of thing. I was like, it's a lot of mangoes.
Oh, this one broken half. Shit. I've never had that happen before. The whole...
Pretty
look,
liquid in the middle.
people, does anyone want to see?
Oh, sweet.
Oh, I better eat this real quick.
We were just postulating whether I Dream of Jeannie's, whether Dallas was a continuation of I Dream of Jeannie.
Well, one of the seasons was a dream sequence, right?
Where?
Yeah, one of the whole seasons of Dallas was a dream sequence. Like in Roseanne. There's quite a few TV shows that do that.
Isn't there this conspiracy, this like...
That show about the hospital?
Yeah, but that's also got Munch in it. And he's in like every single show, so it sort of makes, 10% of all television ever made in the brain of some child's head.
Because at the end you're not sure whether it's just like some psycho dream that a kid had. And so then if all of those stories happened in that kid's head and then these characters all overlap, and that show then keeps getting referenced in heaps of other shows that tie it into it.
Are you guys going to watch the last analog broadcast? Do you think they'll do something cool?
Sure as hell.
Yo, this is analog! Analog. We're going out in style. Check out this digital cool 80s porn we got off of VHS.
That'd be awesome.
Maybe they could.
Well, what can you do with analog that you can't do with digital?
We could try and broadcast some analog. Like 5 minutes after Channel 7 shuts down, just like put on a transmitter for like 5 minutes of just like...
We're busy broadcasting the millions right now for
the
dodgy internet connection.
Alright, I finished my Magnum. My hands are free, I'm ready to draw.
We smashed it.
I flooded it. And I'm flying kites now, man. And not only did I bring Magnums, I bought Micheladas. Can I have a biro? I'm going to do some drawing. Alright, so... My name's Campbell. To my right is...
Am I on your right? James.
And then to the other right. Even
Fred.
further right.
Fred.
Fred what?
Not important.
Oh, that was a trick question. Alright, so tonight, welcome to another zinging episode.
31 episodes in, Fred passes the test.
I know. He's finally got the hang of it.
Fred.
That was the sloppiest I've ever heard. Oh, well, we better dive right into listener mail. Well, Fangin' Around, what can people expect? Look, here are some of the show notes. This is a teaser for what's going to happen. We're going to talk about vaginoplasty. We're going to talk about 3D printed cars. We're going to talk about mapping the brain with graphs.
Listener mail, Twitter user Lagordita tweet us wanting to know what fangin' it means. On our About page, I have put a link to the Urban Dictionary page for fangit.
Do you have just a YouTube video of someone doing a burnout? Like in a V8.
Yeah.
What,
Fangins.
Holden or Falcon? Or
I
Ford?
don't know. I'd be Ford.
It's like when you drop the clutch and you just go, yeah.
Yeah, but make
You
sure
can't.
you don't flood it. That's
But you can
all I'm
fang
saying.
around in an Echo.
I was just giving it a poke. More than a poke, though.
Or if you're an automatic, you just put your foot to the floor.
Yeah. Bit of a burn.
Yeah.
So it kind of means driving it with a little bit of reckless abandon.
Gusto.
With gusto.
And it's sort of a comment on our conversation. We sort of
Just fanging around.
Well, just
Yeah.
fanging around. No purpose. Just poking around
recklessly start talking about.
stuff.
Grossly
And,
inappropriate.
there's a high chance we're going to either offend someone or kill someone by accident. So, look, there's another Magnum. I'm going to do it.
I also explained that we sometimes get
No,
confused.
actually, I won't. Fred, you do
With
it.
a vampire.
I've got 16 at home.
I don't want it. James, you can put it in your freezer.
Well, we better deal with it quickly. It's going to get melted. I'm going to eat it. I've committed to this path. I don't know, dear listener, do they know?
What?
Or did we discuss this off air?
What?
Why I've got all these Magnums. Oh, no, we did discuss it on air.
No, you didn't.
Did you know? I went to Coles to buy a cake, and I walked past the frozen goods aisle, and there were boxes of Magnums on sale there. A 4-pack of Magnum ice creams, full-size Magnums, 4 for $4. That's $1 a unit.
Wow.
So
So
I
what,
bought
$16
I
worth?
bought 4 boxes, so that's 4 fours, 16.
So you'll never have Magnums again after this? You'll be sick of
Probably
them.
not. Probably not. But there you go. I've committed to a lot of shit.
I remember Fred brought those raspberry splits,
Splits.
and you left them behind, and I just ate them all.
There's with this shit.
And it just destroyed my tongue from like sucking on the ice. That just burnt my tongue for like the next week. So that
Is this
learned
like
my
when you
lesson.
had first got into Megarang and you got really bad mouth ulcers? but then when you stopped,
no, yeah,
they went
I'm
away, and then when you stopped Megarang, they came back as like this.
Right, yeah, because I get mouth ulcers from an imbalance in MSG. So
Oh.
if I'm constantly eating high MSG
You
food,
don't have
I
an
don't get them.
imbalance, so your body's natural MSG
Yeah, yeah.
levels get out of whack. Such an idiot.
Yeah, no, yeah. So I can either eat Migrang all the time or not at all. As soon as I start the slope of going in and out of Migrang, that's where I get constant mouth ulcers.
I've got a mouth
How do you
ulcer
deal
right
with
now.
that?
Kenalog, man.
Why? That's it. I either buy a box and eat nonsense.
Ride the train until
Yeah.
the end, or just like don't have it.
I'm on
Or
it.
don't have
I'm
it
on
ever.
it. Yeah, go hard or go home. That's
It's a box or nothing for me. Logordita also want to know: do we get confused as a vampire podcast?
Well, we used to have Vampire of the Week,
well. Let's
Yeah.
bring it back for
but I never understood that because they just were Vampire of the Week. That was it.
Yeah. What do you
We had
think?
to, all we had to do
Vampire
was
of the
think of
Week
a
is?
vampire.
Yeah.
We couldn't even do that something. So.
No, I always bought mine when
No,
it was my turn.
Okay, well, bring us a vampire then, and make
I
it
will
vampire.
tonight.
All right.
Remind me. I've
Okay.
got one in mind.
So yes, thanks to Lagordita for tweeting in.
Is it LaGuerta?
Lagore, like Gore, and then Dita, Dita. She's from Portland, Oregon. OR.
Yep, Oregon. Thanks.
Yeah.
Someone from Oregon. Portland? That's awesome. Thanks.
But I
Send us
just-
an audio boo pitching tent and we can hear what your name is actually.
This is a question from Koza, who's one of our hardcore fans. He sent this in on Formspring. He asks, so I'm thinking about getting a tattoo that says mine -- matter, which I think is meant to mean mine over matter, but it didn't format right. So, whereabouts should I get it? So I'm guessing it'll be mind, the word mind and a line and then matter.
Tramp stamp.
Tramp
Do we know
stamp
which,
it?
do you know what sex Cozza is?
I think it's a guy. I don't know. But
Maybe not as a tramp stamper then.
What, guys can't do it?
Can't-
Maybe
I
mind
don't know.
mind on the top of the penis, matter underneath the penis.
Maybe just above it. Like
I
in
should
the
just
crotch
get it
region.
straight on the chest like the Superman logo. Boom.
Maybe over your heart, so it's mind over matter on your heart.
What?
I don't know.
What about over each nipple? Or around each nipple, circular?
Have you guys got any tattoos?
No.
You could have said it's radio free. You'd be like, yeah.
That's too much.
Oh, you do have a tattoo.
Yeah, and he does. That's why it doesn't make any sense. This conversation is bizarre.
Yeah, I have a tattoo. I have a tattoo.
Why did you say no?
I don't know.
And you
I don't
said
want-
no,
it's
and then
too
I totally
identifying.
forgot that you didn't have one. You did have one.
I still
You've got
have,
two, don't
I
you?
still have it. Nah. I just got
Or
one.
you still have it. You haven't got it lasered
Nah,
off.
I haven't got a laser.
What is it, Fred?
That's the one
You
in
can
your
tell?
foreskin,
It's a
isn't
pie tattoo.
like the quiche.
it? What, like an apple pie? Or?
Like the mathematical symbol pi
Oh.
on my shoulder.
Is it big?
No, it's tiny.
Like a birthmark?
Like Nick's tattoo, which was a dot. He was so proud of. Oh, he probably has more now then. And this is in high
What do
school.
you mean he
he's
probably has now? He's
covered.
totally tatted
Oh, is
up.
he? Because
He's got like a
I haven't
sleeve,
seen when he
doesn't
came.
Oh,
When he
did
was
you
in high
see?
school, he was always
Yeah.
like, "Oh, guys," I can't do his accent.
Oh, do it.
I can't.
Do it, you started.
Canada. No, I can't do it.
Canada. Do it, you started
Guy.
it.
No, I can't do it. He got. He would.
No, I'm not listening unless you do the accent. La 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 la.
No, I can't do it. Too much pressure now.
Oh, Fred, I've broken it. You sound like the mum from Bobby's World. You guys.
Canada. I can do a different Canadian accent.
Do it. Just
Or
do
just
whatever
talk
comes
in
out.
an accent. In Germany, anyway.
There's one keyword that everyone puts in to make it.
A boot.
Yeah, or air.
We got a French
I'm
Canadian
going to
in the
the
lab.
ice rink air.
He doesn't talk like that. He's just got a weird accent.
Weird
No
how?
offense to the French Canadians out there.
Who's a French Canadian?
You know, we've got a French Canadian in the lab.
The French Canadians are.
Yeah, so I got a tattoo.
Do you have an astrophysicist in your lab that you're trying to recruit to the
No.
podcast?
She's not in our lab.
But she comes in sometimes, right?
Yeah, I literally haven't seen her since last time. I'd say for this guy to get his tattoo,
I just say upper arm.
upper body,
Upper body.
below the neck,
What above?
below the neck, above the waist.
Wow, that's helpful.
What does it really matter? Yeah,
I'd just say.
What have it sideways and have it like either side of the taint?
the taint.
Yeah.
Well, like one on each butt cheek.
Yeah.
So depending on whether he's lying on his left or his right side, it's
And
mine.
put a dash right down the middle of the taint.
You just
That-
love that word.
In fact,
Yeah.
obviously learned that word today. While I was searching for fanging around on Urban Dictionary, you just thought you'd check out that word you kept hearing everyone talking about.
This hot new word.
That dude who
Taint.
said he wanted to see a taint and finally figure out what he meant.
Look, I
Smells
just,
like chocolate.
just that classic sort of upper arm on the side.
Yep.
I think mind matter. That's what I reckon. I don't know.
Did you actually try and work out, Fred, where your sleeve went and made sure, hey, you can't go below my average sleeve length?
Yep.
But you usually rock wife beaters, don't you?
So I can go up to here. Sorry, it doesn't make good
Has it
radio.
faded?
Me pulling up my sleeve. It's really shittily done, so
Oh, what?
it's all fuzzy.
Where'd you get it done?
It's down in Subi.
What? at
And
the
you got
pub?
that when
Went
you
all
got your
scabby.
bachelor's, right? And now there's one
I
more
got my
ceremony you got
bachelor.
to do before you
Oh yeah. What are
get-
you doing for that?
at your going away party. You going to talk about on the podcast?
No, and I'm not doing it.
No, you said you did.
Well, I said a lot of things. Everyone says a lot of things.
No,
they just
this
then
one
choose not
you're
to.
being held to.
No, well, I'm not.
Because
doing
this,
it.
I don't think. How is this unreasonable?
Yeah, Fred. How is this unreasonable?
Because you're asking me to desecrate a.
Or a sacred document?
No, it's just going to be a hassle to renew it, basically. That's
Oh,
what
I
I want.
bet it
Why
costs
would you ever
$25.
need a bachelor's degree again?
I might need to prove that I have a bachelor's, and if I turn up and it's got a little roach torn out of the corner, it's not going to look really good, is it? It's pretty obvious.
What are they going to say? Oh, this is invalid.
No, okay, so I'm applying for a job. Oh, we need a copy of your bachelor's. I'm applying for my
Oh.
US visa. We need some paperwork. Like,
Oh no,
you look like an idiot.
you just cut a piece off. How big does it have to be?
Yeah. How big's it? What's? Oh,
Like a-
Fred's gonna.
I don't think they're
like
ever going to want to know your
Cheech and Chong
bachelor. You've already got. Do you get a
split.
certificate when you become a doctor?
Yeah, I already got one of them.
So why would they ever ask for any other certificates?
They might, and I don't want to have to go through the rigmarole of going back to the admin, and you have to get stat deck signed. You lost it. Blah 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 blah.
This is rubbish, Ren.
Deal with it.
No.
Your 16-year-old self would be really upset.
Yeah.
Okay, Cam, do we need to talk about some of the things you said you were going to do when you were like 16?
Yeah, well, fine. No.
Did you cop
Okay.
feed Nazario?
Yeah, see.
So thanks, Koza, for Formspringing us. You can find our Formspring. Well, I think it's just we're just fanging around on Formspring, but you can find it on our listener mail page on fangingaround.com. This is we got a question in the email from one of the Ryans.
Which one? Tazra?
With Rytaz.
I think it was Tazra.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Rytaz.
Right.
Rytaz?
Not Rye. Where's the other one from? Was Darwin or something?
No, Belfast.
No.
It was
Belfast. Rybell. No, it was Rytaz.
Rybell or Rytar or Tazra. I don't know. God,
Tazra.
I can't say it. Or Belra. Tazra or Belra.
I know.
Look, all right. So what I'm drawing right now, dear listener, is I'm doing some sort of concept posters for a movie festival that's coming up. Are we allowed to talk about this on air?
What you're
A
drawing?
film festival.
Is this James's film festival?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have a film festival. I don't know who's going to come.
Yeah, so I'm drawing some just little sketches as an idea for what we could do for
Isn't this
a little bit of branding. and
Not
marketing.
totally illegal?
Oh man. How can something on celluloid
I guess you're not-
be
you're not,
illegal?
you're not,
man.
I'm not playing in public.
You're not charging money either.
Aren't you?
No.
I thought it was $10.
Oh, shit. What?
Are they going to buy the alcoholic drinks? Oh, wait, you can't do that either because you don't have a liquor.
Oh, nanny state? This is
Yeah.
bullshit. What, you can't set up your own cinemas and bars wherever you want?
can't sell the popcorn either because you have to have a ABN and.
Well, no, you don't. You just donate it.
Well, I
This is
needed,
a long-
kind of needed that.
We don't have to do
Where's
save
this-
this Ryan thing for
No, well, it
homework.
basically wants to know. It's about. I think it's about. I read it over a week ago. I think it's about. This is his actual question. So my question
Oh, yeah,
is
here
to
it
you
is.
guys: do you think schools should be making kids participate in religious learning in an effort to instill values into them? Do you believe it should be a choice, or that it is not necessary at all? What is your opinion on Catholic schools?
I don't think you should teach religion in school. If you want to teach your kid religion, you do that on your own,
Right,
with your own style.
right, at a private school, that's a religious.
Yeah, or send them to a public school, and then on Sunday they can go to Sunday school.
Yeah.
But it is my understanding, and I might be wrong with this, that lots of like American schools, they have like ethics and civics classes. I've seen this in movies and TV shows.
Mhm.
But we
Was
didn't
that
really,
on Murder, She Wrote?
I don't know, probably. Did she ever go to a high school?
I don't know. In one episode, she solved a VR crime.
Well, like
Virtual
some
reality.
Lawnmower Man, though,
Yeah.
Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we there is a serious lack of education in terms of just basic things in school. I came out. I don't understand.
Shut up! What don't you know?
I don't understand health insurance.
Oh, you've had this conversation before.
Yeah.
You want to
okay.
be. You want to be taught how to.
I
do
don't know the difference between Medicare and private health insurance. I don't know.
That's fair enough.
I don't really know how to do my tax properly. I follow
That's
this
fair enough.
book.
Can you imagine trying to teach a bunch of 15-year-olds how to do their tax returns?
Yeah, that's what you should be learning in school. Imagine teaching
it's
them math.
But it's kind of pointless because the tax changes all the time.
Right, but at least you haven't... Yeah, but when they change, they say, oh, it's changed compared to the old system. But if you never got taught the old system, then you're still lost.
I suppose.
I agree with that, actually.
So
I
tax,
don't...
health insurance.
Like, just basic laws... Like, what's jaywalking?
Basic laws!
What's jaywalking?
What, like...
I guess no one has ever told me that jaywalking's illegal.
Yeah,
Like
is
an
it?
authority figure.
Is it
I don't
illegal?
know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I heard... I
I know
saw someone
nothing.
on Facebook
All I know is
recently
the
posted, is that
religious
actually a real
rules,
thing?
which is don't kill or don't cheat on your spouse, or is that even? That's not even illegal.
That's
is it?
not even a law.
So
So-
jaywalking. So what? When you
I-
do your
I think-
driving license, you also have to do like this walking section.
No,
where
no,
it
just
teaches you, like, how to
in year
stick to the
10
left,
before
don't
in year
jaywalk.
10 before you allowed to leave school, the minimum age of school, you have to do a year long course on just how to survive, because as soon as you leave 10 you've got to get a job, so you've got to understand how to do your tax and stuff like that, and the whole system is based around, if you're rich enough, the rich people can afford to pay trained accountants, so they end up paying less tax because they can afford an accountant who does it all for them, and the poor people just have to sucker up and just pay because they don't even understand how it works.
Yeah.
It's just ignorance, like private health insurance. People don't understand how that works. I could be paying way too much. I could be paying way too little, and I
you're
won't
not-
find
you're
out
now-
until I get put into an ambulance.
You're now like what, 28?
Yeah.
So you've had 10 years now to figure out health insurance. So you could have done
Well,
that.
I
by
still
now.
don't.
Yeah, but that's sort of not really high school's fault anymore, James. They didn't teach me in high school, so I'll never know how to do health
Yeah.
insurance.
What else would I learn? I should have to pay to do a course on how to get the best out of your health insurance.
There's more.
Do you have private health insurance?
I don't know. I don't understand
You don't even know.
Yeah, but I don't care that I don't know. I'm not complaining.
Or
High
you
school-
will care when you get sick and die.
Either you have it or you don't. I'll blame.
Or if you get terminal illness and you don't even know where to go.
it's the hospital and they teach you
Yeah.
that much in high school.
Like the whole my diet thing where it's like everyone just says, oh, eat less and exercise more, and I was doing that and I wasn't losing weight, and then suddenly I start eating more and now I'm losing less weight. Like
Yeah,
no
but
one,
that's something.
if they had taught you that,
Or then you have to do fad dieting in high school.
it's not a fad diet.
No, I want to see your curriculum.
I'm not-
James.
I don't have a
health,
fad diet.
Health insurance. How do you tax fad dieting and walking?
How is that? How am I doing a fad? How am I doing a fad diet?
Well, it's just like I don't know. You're just doing this diet now, but
It's not even a diet. It's just.
Oh, God.
When people say that it's that we get taught all this about non-smoking, but they say that the obesity epidemic is way bigger
they got to
deal
be dealing
than
with
smoking.
that now in high school, don't they? They did health.
We did heaps of health. Putting
Healthy
condoms
eating.
on bananas
Yeah.
and
This
things.
is weird. I never did that in high school. I must have been in
What?
like the nerd health class. Or
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
These
like,
kids
yeah,
don't know
you
that.
don't need to know about that.
I never did that because I would have remembered.
Just like cut out some of the bullcrap at school.
What would you get rid of to do your
What's the
curriculum on?
bullcrap?
Like,
Tell me what the
what
bullcrap
about
is.
democracy? Nobody even understands preferential voting. I know you don't even understand it, Fred. You're like, oh, I have to vote Labour Liberal first preference, otherwise my vote doesn't
No,
count.
that's my choice, James.
No,
You're saying I don't understand it because I'm not voting how you're voting. I understand how preferential voting works.
No, you've got zero power. You don't even know how to use your vote properly. They purposely do that, just to. I don't want people to know too much because then they'll just stop voting for Liberal Party because they're trying to.
They do preferential voting in high school, I'm sure. I'm
Not,
sure they
not
go
until
over the-
year 11 or 12,
Oh,
where
they
it's a,
should do it in
a
primary
choice.
school.
No, do it in year 8, 7, 8, 9, 10. What else are you learning then?
like science and like English, sport.
Like what science?
I don't know. Well, they do it in geography.
Pardon?
You're learning history.
Society and environment.
Yeah, it's only
There's just so
Probably
much
called something else. but yeah.
bullcrap.
all right.
Also,
so do you think religion should be
first
taught?
round over and done with?
Do you think religion should be taught in high school?
No,
James?
because we don't have. It's already too crowded. We need to get rid of religion
well,
and replace it
not
with
in a
all this-
public. You can't do it in public high school because of the separation of state and church or whatever they say.
Now, as an atheist on this panel,
Are we all atheists?
I don't know.
I'm coming
I'm
out.
just talking from Fred's an atheist. Pontifex.
Well, I guess I'm agnostic.
Lame.
Oh, fence sitter.
I don't even know. How do you even define it, atheist these
Oh, I
days?
don't know. They should teach it in high school
Yeah.
because it's impossible to learn anything once you've left. Yeah.
I do learn lots of things, but people aren't as curious as I am.
What? So, have you got these things covered or not?
Huh?
Has your curiosity driven you to learn about the tax system, healthcare?
No, because I'm not interested in it.
So that's why you wanted it to be taught in high school, so that when you didn't have a choice, you were forced to learn
Point
boring
of
stuff.
compulsory school if they don't give you teach you the basic skills to exist as soon as you walk out the door.
I don't think health insurance.
You can
is
learn.
as
It's
complicated
way
as you
easier to
think it is.
learn advanced maths and science.
Oh, if you're about to say then figure out health insurance, you're
Pardon?
full of shit.
No, in year 11 and 12 where it becomes a choice and you decide based on what degree you want to do.
But hold on, Fred. In terms of healthcare, if you had cancer, if you went to your GP coughing, feeling unwell, he refers you, you get a scan, you got lung cancer.
Yeah.
Do you know what would be covered under?
No, but if you were interested, you just read the document.
What document?
What document?
You don't just get health insurance and they go, trust us, we'll,
I'm
cover
saying,
you.
like,
When have they ever sent you a document when you walk out of school about anything.
Healthcare is provided by the state.
The only thing there is adverts on TVs by companies that have an interest in ripping you off.
No,
it's in their interest.
If you actually,
and you wouldn't even know if you're getting ripped off. That's the whole point. They make it purposely confusing because they don't.
You could spend an hour of your day with your.
You just admitted you don't even know if you have health insurance or not, Fred.
But I don't care that. No, I know I have health insurance.
Do you?
Okay, I went and got travel insurance a few weeks ago. Okay, and it's as you're saying. Oh, they don't tell you anything. That's complete bullshit. They have to tell you everything. So I went and I signed up and I put a number in, blah blah blah, and I got the health insurance, the travel insurance, and that was it, and that was done.
So that's
what most people. That's
cover?
most people done. But I actually had to know what I was insured for this form I was filling out. So I had to sit down. I had to go through all the details, and they were all there. So it says things like you are covered for up to.
Okay, but why did you seek out travel insurance?
Because I needed it to go to the US.
Because you're traveling, so there's like a cause and effect there, right? But what about health insurance, Fred? I'm not talking about travel insurance. Obviously, when you buy a car, you need car insurance. When you buy a house, you need house insurance. But what about health insurance?
You don't need health insurance. There's not a requirement to get health insurance.
Why not?
Because that's why we have.
What if your teeth fall out, Fred?
Well, then
Does Medicare cover dental care?
Yeah, it's just a long waiting list.
Is it? You're not even sure.
Well, I have health insurance.
Pardon? Do you?
James, just read the product disclosure statement. They don't sell you these products without telling you what's in it.
But how do you compare it to others?
You use your brain. You read the form and see what it says.
There's plenty of websites that compare health insurance.
Let's just not teach English and maths in school and just say, just lose your brain and learn it.
No, the idea is they teach you English so you can read the product disclosure statement, and maths so you can add up the numbers in it.
But they don't know what it means.
No, you don't know what it means. You can just read it and understand.
I don't know why you're objecting to this. Wouldn't you like more useful information in school rather than stuff you never use as soon as you walk out the door?
I use the stuff I learn in school all the time.
But what I do think is interesting is how. Well, where does government health cover end? Or what are the parameters of it?
Sure, you can.
Why then?
You're just living on the assumption.
No, just let me fucking talk. Why do we then have the option of private cover? Like, what are the out-of-pocket expenses if you don't?
But you can find all this shit out, I'm sure of it.
Oh, I'm sure you can, but it's like, isn't that something that we probably should be taught? I'm not taking James's side, but I'm saying, like, okay, when you're out in the world, our government provides this for you, and these are sort of the parameters of it. But if you need more, if something goes wrong, or if you want to be fast-tracked, these are your other options. Like, that would probably be pretty...
But that's like saying the government should also have, like, well, maybe it should, that, it'll cover you for third-party insurance, but then when you get your car, you should probably look into this type of insurance. But then it's going to be, do you you have to be spoon-fed everything?
No. But what does the government provide?
But you could look that up.
At school, you got a basic level of like career counselling to know how to apply to university. Why can't we just have the same thing, but for learning how to do your tax, filling out your tax form,
I suppose
doing your deciding whether you need private health insurance or not. Just doing a citizenship subject that's like how to be a good citizen, so we have less Wang Chungs in this world.
We don't have health insurance.
So, in terms of religion in schools, I think it should be taught. As a comparative... No, not as factual. As these are some of the world's religions.
In history, kind of thing.
Well, as a separate thing, because all the foundation of pretty much every civilization on this planet is a religious foundation. All right? So, it's really instrumental in understanding how our cultures have developed. I'm atheist. I don't believe in the gods, but I believe that our cultures have been shaped, into what they are by by superstitious religious beliefs.
So it should be sort of taught in history, kind of like how Australia came to be formed.
Yeah, like theology, not necessarily.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's it's like this is what happened, or this is what people used to think. In Mongolia, they used to think this. In Russia, they used to think this. In etc. etc. I think that would be fantastic. I'm totally for that. What I disapprove of is secular countries that have, I remember saying the Lord's Prayer in primary school. Like, that's weird.
That is weird. I mean, I went to Sunday school.
You went to Sunday school
Hell yeah.
with the Scouts.
No, in Tasmania.
So you're full on religious. You were in the Scouts and you were in
Scouts
Sunday school.
is religious,
Oh, isn't it Mormon?
but I don't think it's technically Christian.
I went for a couple of weeks and I thought I was being put into a cult.
It all depends on, I think, on the leader a lot.
Yeah.
How big into that sort of stuff. So my leader didn't care less about
I got so excited to go. It's going to be like because I was a huge MacGyver fan. I thought it was just going to be MacGyver, and then I turned up and it's like.
What lessons did you think you were getting? Did you think you were signing up for like
Survival lessons.
paperclip bow and arrow making, and
No, just like survival. Like if you're stuck in the bush.
Yeah, but they do that. We did that.
did they cover health insurance?
You got a lame scout leader. That's your problem.
Maybe I did.
All right, sorry, Ryan. I don't know if that answered any of your thoughts.
Oh, but it's true. Like I don't know.
We're moving on from this subject.
I went out with this girl and she said she was Jewish, and I didn't know what
Is
that
this
meant.
going to be offensive?
You didn't know what you could do to
I don't know what she said. I don't know what it meant. Like, because isn't a Jewish a race, or is it a religion?
It's everything.
It's a
both.
state. It's
Or
a
it's
race
one or the
and
other.
No, it's a state, race, and religion. It's everything.
Yeah, so I don't even know what she meant. Why that?
That her mum was Jewish.
They should teach that in school.
Well, if we're doing theology, like,
Yeah. Oh well.
So, I don't know.
But they need to do a course on. They have to say, look, they have to be deliberate in the course and say, look, these organisations discriminate against homosexuals. They have to say that in that word as a fact.
This is your religion class.
Yeah, if they're doing it in a public schools,
Yeah.
they have to admit that these churches, if you attend them, they discriminate against people.
Yeah.
They just have to be honest. They can't just soften the truth.
You have to go through the viewpoints of each church. So, crazy evangelical, hates gay people, believes in the resurrection of Jesus. Westboro Baptist Church. Batshit insane.
Yeah, well, go through the whole spectrum,
He's also talking about how, like, I think he's also getting to the point of because I think that the situation that can't read out the whole situation that the context he's bringing up, but I think it's also about how should we not say Merry Christmas because some people don't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's too hard.
But I come from I was not brought up religion, so Christmas to me is like family dinner. Like it's like the same as like Thanksgiving in America.
Yeah.
But I do have family members that do attend church like beforehand, but I have been brought up completely without religion. I don't even understand. I don't even know. I barely know who Jesus is. Is he real?
Oh, gee.
I should bring out
as
what
an
Ryan's.
atheist, one of my favourite films is The Last Temptation of Christ. Just an awesome film
Oh yeah, that's pretty cool.
about Jesus.
This is what Ryan had to say. In my opinion, it's not today's youth that needs to be blamed. This generation's parents have dropped the ball when it comes to instilling morals and teaching proper behaviour. It becomes evident when you see parents walking around with their children on leashes because they can't control themselves. They can't control them themselves. Though my opinion is the commercializing and greed of today's society is in the majority of people and is practically taught to kids, which isn't really linked to religion, this mindset leads to the one must always get ahead of one other in jobs, sport, and any social spec. Hence, less respect for your fellow human beings.
I'm pro kids on leashes. If used appropriately.
Is that possibly, Campbell, because you were a kid on a leash?
I was a kid on a leash. Yep.
Do you keep Naz on a leash?
No, when he went through a leash phase, which was very short.
Like where he wanted to be on a leash.
Yeah, and so we're just respecting his autonomy and wishes. No, but some kids are runners. Look, I know what you're talking about when you say that. There are some kids, and their parents like drag them around on the leash, and you know, and they use it to yank them in one direction or another. That's bullshit. But you know, look, if you keep a dog on a leash, right? Because, you know, dogs can be scallywags, right? Mm-hmm. They can be a bit cheeky. They can, like, break loose and just go running. You know,
Yeah, I saw...
they can't 100% be trusted. You can, you know, 80% trust a dog.
I was going for a run in the park, and I was watching over the other side of the road, and there's this girl just running down the street, and her dad was just chasing down, and he just stopped her before she was about to run in front of a car, and I was like...
Yeah,
and obviously he was about to have a heart attack as well, because he thought that was it, his kid's gone.
Yeah, some kids are runners, and just like a dog, sometimes you gotta, you know, make sure they're not gonna run off. So if it's used like a good dog owner uses one, like, you know, it's if they go to do a bolt.
Yeah.
What if you're going to go into the shops and you just tie them up out the front?
You know, is there a water bowl?
Just give the kid a bottle.
Yeah, you know, that's all right.
Okay. Any other listener mail?
No, that's it. Thanks for writing in, everyone.
thanks,
Don't
guys.
forget, you can email us at mailbag@fangingaround.com, or send us a voicemail on Audioboo as Fangin' Around, or send us a question on Formspring as Fangin' Around, or tweet us. Follow up. Campbell, you had like 100 zings last episode, and I feel it needs to be acknowledged because I wasn't really
I'm
paying
going to do a
attention.
slow clap for him.
What's the 100 zings?
You were just zinging it, as Mel Butter would say on the minutes. You were just full of the zings.
Was I?
Yeah, you were just on it. You were so fast that none of us got your zings, and I was laughing my head off because I wasn't even... I can tell that myself totally, when I was listening to it live, missed it, but...
Was I?
Yeah.
Oh,
You were
wow.
on ball.
Thanks. I had the zings. I had no idea.
I'm jinxing you now because now I put the
Yeah,
pressure
I know, now
on
the
you.
pressure's
Look at you
on.
stressing already.
Yeah, I'm
tightening
clamming up. Oh, shit, I'm trying to draw at the same time. This is just stupid.
What have you guys been consuming, Campbell?
Watched, I think, season 6 of Dexter, maybe. Finished that up. The worst season so far. Really disappointing. Really, really disappointing. I'm quite excited about what they've kind of teed up for the next season in some regards, which is the current one. But otherwise really crap. And especially kind of interesting because I've been watching Breaking Bad. I've taken a break from Dexter. Started watching Breaking Bad. First started having a bit of... At first I was like, just to kind of align myself or whatever with it, or orient myself, I was like, oh, this is a bit like Dexter. It's a good guy doing bad things.
Yeah.
And then I stopped watching Dexter because of various things, just busy, and I've been watching Breaking Bad on my own. And so now I just finished season 3, and then I went back and started watching Dexter again, and man, it is nothing like Dexter at all. Dexter is like all about, there's like no consequences to anyone's actions. Like someone gets, like his wife was murdered at the end of one season, and it's never even brought up anymore.
Oh, really? So
Like-
they don't have the kids around?
No, the kids went and lived with their aunts or their grandparents or something. So it's just like whitewashing of that
I thought it was
storyline.
going to get interesting. Like, I thought like the
Yeah.
daughter was a bit sus, and she's going to come back, and that was going to get really.
She came
messed
back
up.
in one episode and it was awesome. And she was a bit dodgy. But it's just like there's no continuity. Whereas, man, Breaking Bad is like all about the continuity. Like all about something... Someone makes a choice, and whether that has an effect like immediately or a season in a season's time, you know, it's there. It's there, and it's amazing. It's all about this like change of character, whereas Dexter's, all these characters are like static. Anyway. But Dexter can be fun as well.
The Walking Dead, which is one of the only shows I'm keeping up with at the moment, is... they haven't watched today's episode, but they've brought back a character which I think was...
In a zombie state?
No, who sort of disappeared in like the first episode, but in a way that you're like, oh, he must be going to come back. But then 2 seasons later, he wasn't back.
Oh.
And you're like, oh, maybe that was just a weird thing they put in. But then finally in the 3rd season, he's back, and it's kind of cool that they finally did bring him back. Because he he was tied up, right? And spoiler alert for the first episode, he was tied up and he couldn't, to get away from the zombies, he had to cut off his own hand.
Oh, that's an old gag.
And then and then they when they came back to find him, he was just, his hand was there, I think.
So you don't know if the zombies got him?
You didn't know what happened to him, yeah.
Would you?
Well,
cut your
obviously
whole
it was a
hand off?
clean cut, so it wasn't like the zombies had eaten. They knew
Yeah.
he had cut it off.
Oh.
Yes.
You just would, flat out. Not even
Oh.
if it was handcuffed up.
No, I need a really good reason.
Oh, $100?
No. Not good
500?
enough. No.
500,000?
No.
No. We should have said spoiler before saying about the wife dying in Dexter.
Oh, spoiler alert! Whoop, whoop,
Got
whoop.
tweeted there.
Oh, who tweeted?
Twitter user Zoe J. McGill.
Oh, sorry, Zoe. But you don't know which wife, because he has a couple throughout the seasons. So, there you go, Zoe.
It's the third one, isn't it?
Unspoiled.
Spoiler, what?
Spoilers! Alert, alert, alert. 500,000, you wouldn't cut a hand off.
No.
500
Million, yes.
million you would.
Which hand?
You can choose.
What hand
I have
would
to
you get
think
rid
about
of?
it. Left.
What if they said right?
Are you right-handed?
Yeah.
Well, what if they said you can choose and you said left and they said it's the right hand?
choice.
Suck shit.
Depends. Maybe.
500 million.
Yeah, maybe. Do I get some sweet cyborg hand to replace it?
Well, you got 500 million. You got to sort that out.
Yeah, maybe I would then. Might cost 400 million.
But he wouldn't know
R&D.
because he wouldn't know how to sort it out because he wouldn't know whether he needs Medicare or private insurance.
My health insurance going to cover cutting off my own hand. You can look that up. They got a price on these things because when I did this
What, on
orientation,
cyborg hands?
no, at Woolworths for this employee orientation, like the union rep came in and was like, if you get your hand and a foot cut off, it's 200 grand. 3 fingers and you lose an eye, that's 75. And there's just like a list of, you lose a hand, you get this much. You lose a finger, you get that much.
Really?
So the government knows how much your hand's worth.
You know how you meant to
Wow.
consolidate all your superannuation
Oh no,
things?
No, we're not talking about this.
that's the most boringest subject.
But you know how like your superannuation's like payout amount when you die. If you have if you have heaps of superannuation funds and you don't consolidate, does that mean like when your family die, they get 100,000 from each different
Yeah,
fund?
actually. Is that like taking out multiple insurance policies?
That's not superannuation. Is not when you die. It's when you retire.
No, but it pays out when you die.
No, it doesn't, does it?
Yeah.
No,
and it-
yeah, and they usually attach to it, have an insurance value.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Haven't
I think you
yeah,
can-
They do. Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to pay for it. Like they take $1 out each week.
Yeah, or there's like a basic cover where you can extend.
I don't know. I was never taught superannuation law.
Oh, in high school, and now look at us. Ooh,
But you
don't
need
know.
it, do you?
No, I don't care.
That
about
would be a
superannuation.
good thing to teach about in citizenship class. How to not be a burden on society when you retire from work.
Yeah, because a 15-year-old's going to be like, oh, wicked.
Well, when else are they going to teach you? Because up until you get to the age, is like, oh, I don't care, and eventually you get to the age, is like, oh, I don't.
Don't you think
Screw
there's some
the
things where
society.
you just as an adult you just have to learn them. I know high schools. Oh, we won't get back to this subject.
I want to learn it, but I want to have a base knowledge so that it's much easier. I don't have to waste time doing anything.
All right.
I don't want to have to waste time doing anything.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Campbell.
Yeah, what?
That's it. You'll be consuming.
Oh, I think so. Breaking Bad's been taking up a lot of my consumption time. I think I've consumed 3 seasons in a matter of weeks. Very much enjoying it. 2 thumbs up, right up the bum. Fred's bum.
What about you, Fred?
What have you been consuming?
I haven't really had time to watch many TV shows.
It doesn't have to be TV.
I
Have you
went
been
lawn bowling on Sunday.
Oh, I saw the Instagram pics.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. It's really hard though. Really hard. I think it's one of those things where it's not like 10-pin bowling where you can be okay and then it takes a long time to master. This just takes a long time to master.
To be okay, you mean?
Yeah, to even be like reasonable at it, to have any sort of consistency whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult because it rolls in like that.
Soft hands, Fred. Soft hands.
He's just staring at me unbelievable for like 5 minutes and then just goes, stop that. Stop that. So that's about it.
James,
that I've been consuming.
what about you, James?
I saw The Master by Paul Thomas Anderson. Not in 70mm, just at a regular cinema. And I don't even know what they're projecting at
Do they play a Master's Apprentice
beforehand.
just to warm you up?
Not that I know.
No.
What's their song? No, that's Russell,
Oh,
the real thing.
Master's
Peter Russell
Apprentice.
Anyway, it was interesting. But you could tell that it was filmed in 70mm because it looked way better than any other thing I'd seen at the Luna. So obviously, at least starting with a 70 film, to start off with helps a lot of things all the way down the chain. And it's sort of, it's sort of meant to be a sort of a story about someone
What? It's supposed to be a story about someone
trying to get into Scientology. But it's not specifically spelled out. It's just someone finding
Is it a serious
master.
film?
Yeah, although it's not that great as a serious film. It's better to go in as a comedy because there is some good funny moments, and that's the only really redeeming thing about it, really. Because I just didn't. I don't think it pulled off what it was trying to do. But maybe it's one of those films I'll rewatch later and be like, "Whoa, yeah." I saw Ted. We're talking about imaginary characters.
Is this the South Park guys movie? Forgotten what it's called?
No,
Mikey Mark.
American Dad or something. Or
Oh yeah, American Dad. Yeah. Not South Park, American Dad.
I don't know those TV shows, but yeah, it's that guy.
Was it good?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Which is Paul Thomas Anderson's favourite film from this year. It also...
He was taking the piss. His least favourite film, he's just saying that.
Maybe, but a lot of other people seem to like it. But it was filmed in the worst day soap I've seen so far.
What does day soap mean?
You could just feel the lather of soap over the whole
What do you mean?
thing.
What does that mean?
Day soap's where you film a film in the style of a daytime TV, but you use cinematic techniques. So it just looks like a really bad B-grade movie, and it makes you really sort of like it feels uncomfortable when you're watching it.
Why
But this
would
is
you
really
do
bad.
that?
Like,
why would somebody do that?
I don't know. It's kind of like a cancer in Hollywood right now, because. And they were using some real noticeable motion blur, like they were using a really show stutter. So when someone just moves like this, it's like their hands are sort of blurring about, and it just it looks so bad. So yet another movie that maybe I was just so disgusted by the day soap that I never even took it seriously, but I don't think it was a fairly shallow movie.
Did you watch a certain Jean-Luc Besson film?
Yes, The Deep Blue.
Big
Is
Blue?
that, or Le Grand Bleu?
Depending on which version.
Well, I saw I think it was the original version. It was in English, but it had the Eric Sierra soundtrack.
Because there were quite a few. I think there's quite a few cuts of it.
Yeah, there's one with the Bill Conti soundtrack, and I love Bill Conti, so I'm interested to see that version, to see what his score is for it. Because Eric Sierra has the very sort of cheesy 80s music that you all know and love.
I actually don't know which one I've seen. I think I've seen cheesy 80s music one.
Yeah. And I remember when I was first getting film, I bought the soundtrack for The Fifth Element because I thought it was kind of like, oh, cool and different, but it's just so weird. I mean, that's like I swore I had seen this film, but I have not seen this film at all because I first thought it was a film about like looking for treasure in like boats and stuff, and people diving down, which I've seen a movie like that. And then you said it was like a film about free divers, and I've seen another film about free divers, so I thought I'd seen it, but then I went and saw this. I'm like, and then this is really, it was just so Luc Besson. It's just every frame of that film is.
Isn't it amazing though?
Yeah, it is.
I don't think it's like...
It is both the best film and worst film I've ever seen.
Yeah. It's very uneven, but like, as a film, you're like, I can't believe this thing exists.
Yeah.
Almost. Like, it's spectacular.
Yeah, like, how did he get it made? Like, I looked up the budget, and it was the budget was in francs, and it only made like 3 million in the box office. So I have no idea what francs were worth back when it was made. So I don't know if it was actually profitable or not. But it's also, like you said, insanely long. But I love long films. But this didn't feel like there was a reason for it to be that long.
No, it just kind of keeps going, and
there was various times where I thought it was ending, and I was like, oh, cool. And then it sort of keeps going with sort of scenes that are very similar to the ones that they've done before. But then there's lots of other bits which are really cool as well. And then there's the whole, like, you know how we're talking about the left-handed ad and how it could be about this guy who wants to jack off over this girl.
yes,
This film could be about a guy who wants to have sex with dolphins. Like, you could watch, it's like watching Top Gun thinking they're gay. You could watch this film thinking he's in love with dolphins, and he's struggling to try and be a society and love a real woman, just like the guy in Top Gun. Like, they're kind of, Top Gun and this film are kind of go hand in hand with each other.
He goes to pretty great lengths to try and bang that chick in Top Gun, though.
yeah, but it's a cover, man.
Is it just a
Yeah.
pressure
Yeah.
of the fighter pilot school game?
Yeah.
Yeah, because then doesn't he get the chance to bang her, and then he's like, oh, I'm going to have a shower instead.
And he
I don't
zooms off on
remember
his
that
motorcycle.
scene.
Yeah.
And then Val Kilmer steps in the shower and
It's like, hey,
Gets so
blur, and he does that thing.
But Top Gun and this could be great.
Why don't you do
companion
them as a
pieces.
double feature instead? I know you've pitched your underwater duo, but maybe
Yeah,
these
well, I
two
wanted
are
to.
better.
I kind of want to have a couple of fun films, and I thought Little Mermaid would be cool.
That's just to get the girls, James.
Yeah.
Just don't sugarcoat.
Well, it's my favourite film of all time. So and it has some sort of, it talks about mermaids and stuff like that as well.
I think it's got one of my favourite endings of a film ever.
Oh right,
To be
yeah,
honest.
that's cool.
When I
The
saw
ending.
the ending, no spoilers. Not going to spoil this like we did Dexter, revealing that his wife gets murdered. But it's got one of the. I think it's just amazing. And when I first saw it, I was speechless. I just couldn't believe that was the ending of the film. In a good way, I was like, "Wow,
Yeah,
revelation!" When you find out he's actually a lady.
I like that. Yeah, the whole start of the film, I didn't get how his dad died. Spoiler alert.
Oh well, if the film starts with that, that's okay.
Did you get that?
I can't remember. I honestly haven't seen it in probably
Which film are you
9
talking
years,
about?
10 years.
The Le Grand Bleu. Or the
Bleu.
Big
Bleu. I
the
think I
Deep
made
Blue
you
or
see
Big Blue?
it. Big Blue, I think.
Big
Always.
Blue.
I thought I made you see it, Fred.
Don't think so.
No. Anyway.
It has quite a interesting female character in it, who's like, it's almost like they put her in to be just a token female character, but she's sort of accidentally sort of interesting, yet they don't spend any time sort of developing a story at all. So it's just kind of like,
Yeah, it's weird.
it's like the actor made it interesting, not the actual script at all.
Yeah, I remember watching it and thinking, why is... Not in a bad way, but like, well, I guess... Like, why is she in the film? The film would be just as... It'd be the same film
Yeah.
without her in it, almost.
Anyway, so the other freediving film, it could have even been like, I have a feeling might have been, the thing I'm thinking about might have been like an episode of Water Rats. But I remember seeing this really epic freediving movie or TV show before where these two people compete to be freedivers and the consequences of that happening. And obviously it was a shorter movie, so it was way more intense. But this one is like, it's
so
spread out
long.
over like
It
almost 3 hours.
It almost feels like someone has taken a TV show and cut it down into a film.
Yeah.
Because it's like so
Yeah,
long
yeah,
and there's
yeah,
so many
yeah.
bits and you're like, oh, what? And it kind of Yeah, it's so long that you think, I must be missing more things in a way.
But I also kind of like that. Like, one of the things I'm writing at the moment, it's very much like that. Like, it's all sort of all bits and pieces, but it's like it's taking a long time to get to the end. But that's the way I want it to be. Like, so I was interested to see this movie from my own perspective on doing that. I probably should have kept some other notes about that. Yeah, it's a really interesting film, and we'll be showing it at the Bedsheet Cinema Film Festival.
Yeah, that'll be good. I'm excited about that. So I'm just sketching up for those watching the live cam show, which is kind of a pun as well because my name's Campbell. So it's a live cam bull show. I'm just sketching up some little bits and pieces for, in theory, perhaps illustrations for the film festival, and they're all double features, pretty much, aren't they? There's a triple feature, but I think the rest are doubles, aren't they?
Yeah. There's only one other. I should turn.
So I was just thinking illustrations side by side of pretty much the protagonist. Just having a look. Standing there stock still, and they'd stand side by side. So you've got one film double. Did I curate this one, James? Dark Crystal Labyrinth. Is that one sort of that I pitched to you?
Yeah.
What else we got? Neverending Story and The Princess Bride.
Now, is that the right way to do things?
What do you mean?
Because all four of those films sort of feel like a thing, but is that the right combination of two films?
Yes. Yeah, Dark Crystal and Labyrinth are both Jim Henson productions.
Oh, that's right.
So I think they're the best together. And then Labyrinth, Neverending Story and Princess Bride. Yeah, I'd say those two.
Neverending Story, isn't that Wolfgang Petersen did Troy?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I like Wolfgang Petersen.
Yeah, Neverending Story is amazing.
I don't know who Wolfgang Petersen is.
Do you like him, though? Could you learn
No.
to like him?
I could learn.
There's Miracle Mile, but we don't know what the next Apocalypto film's going to be.
Well, I haven't seen Quiet Earth, but I should just throw it up and watch it for the first time
It's a good film.
at the film, or whether I should watch it.
I remember liking it a lot.
Have you watched Miracle Mile?
No.
Okay.
For Miracles of Mine, the problem with Miracle Mile is it's such a rare film that there's, like, whatever quality that you watch is like the best I can find, I think.
Isn't it out on DVD?
Rather than
or
I
anything?
I found a high definition version of Quiet Earth.
Oh, really? And what was there's that other one, because Quiet Earth's set in New Zealand, isn't it?
New Zealand.
And there's another film called, I think I told you about it, On the Shores?
On the Beach,
On the
yeah.
Beach, which is set in Australia.
And that's a TV movie, though, isn't it?
They made a TV movie of it. But there's
a remake
there's
of
an original film.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's an even older novel, and it's set in Australia during the end of the world.
Are you going to make fake previews for your Bedsheet Cinema?
I was just going to post the trailers up.
Oh, okay.
Are you going to do
I'm making like a
Grindhouse trailers
trailer.
of your stuff in between?
No.
You should make fake trailers for like ridiculous films, and if everyone gets excited about one
Like
of them,
what?
you make it. I don't know. You're the director.
Like
Do you want to
Pudding
pitch some,
Dreams,
like,
or just
film
do
view?
some like...
No.
You can make the most epic trailer for a film
I
that
don't have
doesn't
time.
exist.
Yeah, that's true.
Between Gemma's Fam,
Home Alone,
Bedsheet Cinema,
Mary Poppins, Little Mermaid, The Big Blue, Sabrina, Roman Holiday.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch?
I wish. Imagine if Audrey Hepburn had been Sabrina the Teenage Witch. That would have just melted minds.
Your underpants would catch fire.
Oh, that's offensive.
How is that offensive?
Feminist Corner. Here we go. I've got... so there's a cartoonist that I follow on Twitter whose works are quite hilarious. Marlo Meekins. And she recently tweeted a picture that somebody sent. Oh well, tweeted a picture of a tweet someone sent her. And you might be able to see it. There's the picture of the gentleman in question is kind of middle-aged, balding, looks a bit disgruntled, bit of a Van Dyke beard, bespeckled, squinting into the camera. Not ravishing. And his handle is Peeping Pete. And he says to Amalo, God, your art gives me half a boner every time.
Half mongrel.
Yeah.
Not even a full one.
Not even a full one.
Is their art erotic? I'm not familiar with it.
No, it is... no, I'd say no. It's lots of sort of autobio stuff.
Could you imagine? Is what he's saying completely inappropriate? Or does he have any justification for getting cracked?
I'd say inappropriate.
See, I'm totally uninformed on this. I mean, the guy could be in the right. I wouldn't know.
No, I think this guy's very much... Anyway, everyone's having a good old lol at him. So what do you think about people going about their job and then someone says, you know what? You have given me a bit of a boner.
It's never happened in
I
my
thought we
life.
were fans of that.
I didn't know he had a consented opinion on that.
Like Michael Scott in The Office. Doesn't he try and cheer people up by saying, don't worry, you give me half boner?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
He did. Phyllis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He says, that's one of the that's one of my favourite moments, actually. But offensive? What do you think, James? I mean, if a woman's going about her job, doing her thing, would you then be like, oh, you know what, good job, but also pretty hot?
But if you get really... You could mean it not literally.
It depends on the tone. Like,
you'd be like,
on the
that's so
internet,
good,
it's all
it's giving me a
stripped
boner.
of tone rather than...
Yeah.
I hear girls talking all the time going, oh, that made me tingle downstairs.
All the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Get a couple of girls together, that's what they're talking about.
Of course.
Welcome
Well, I
to
guess
Feminist
you
Corner.
get a couple of boys together, they're just going to talk about getting a bonus. As we've now demonstrated.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, if you're on the internet, you got to put up with this stuff. This is if you're public on the internet.
But if you're not trying to get that reaction...
What if the situation reversed? If someone came up to you and saw your art and said, oh, your art makes me tingle downstairs.
I'm juicing at the seams.
What would you think? Would you take it as a compliment, or would you be saying, get offended for what you're saying towards
very
you?
childish, not childish, but...
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But so is this person's art.
Yeah, okay. I haven't seen this person's art.
Oh,
so I don't
sorry.
know,
I was going to throw some up. Sorry. How would I feel?
What about you, James? What if someone said,
your movie gave
that
me a bit
movie
of a boner?
was the best homoerotic thing I've seen in a long time, and I got a bit of a tingle?
Ah, well, I'll be like, cool.
Just that? Cool.
It's better than saying I hate it.
I suppose.
You got some response. Is
Yeah.
that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You know what? I can't even find any right now. No, I'm just curious. What do you guys think?
Well, it all depends on context. I mean, if someone
Do they know
got
each
a boner
other?
over what I did, it'd be weird, because it's completely asexual.
Or what if it wasn't for it? What if it was really
And I'd be doing
sexual?
something horribly
Does she
wrong.
know this person in real life?
No, he's
No.
like some freak on the internet.
Do you know him?
No.
Well, how do you know that?
I might know Peeping Pete, but I don't think I do. I mean, he wasn't familiar, his face.
I thought he was one of the guys in the physics lab.
Could be for all I know.
All right, here's some examples that you can scroll around in. Oh man, my phone's freaking out. Anyway, I just thought we haven't done Feminist Corner in a while.
I got another feminist
No.
thing that's not super feminist.
Do it.
In fact,
Pull the trigger on it.
one I've got
it's
here.
probably offensive. This woman, it's kind of feminist. She made a vibrator, but she gave it tried to give it like a feedback loop, so that sort of depending on how her body was, it became more automatically more or less intense.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't really report on how well it went though.
So what? The idea being that you're in
She was
perfect
trying-
equilibrium.
That
Like
it's
my
sort of
devi-
like,
the
you know, if
vice
you're
I want.
loving it, it sort of, it knows and then it amps it up. Whereas if something starts to not work, it sort of backs it off. So it's like optimized to stimulate.
If you were a girl and you wanted a dildo, would you get like the dual one so you have something up your butt at the same time?
Welcome back, Feminist Corner. We missed
never
you.
works out. It just never works out.
I heard a girl talking about this the other day.
What did she say?
Well, she loved it. End of story.
So I cannot relate to that.
Wicked.
But you don't try and imagine?
What are you doing in the physics lab all day?
What about you, James? Obviously you imagined it.
Are you just going on her advice and you'd get the full rabbit and you'd just do it all? You'd want a tri-tip, I think.
A tri-tip, yeah. But, yeah.
I did.
Do you think you could use just a dual tip, but just the back to front?
To get a bit more action in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys have lost me.
Do you need a picture?
3 areas
Yes.
of stimulus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what are you talking about? I don't know.
It's like a try and you stab it in.
Jesus Christ. So that wraps up Feminist Corner for this week. We'll give it another shot next week. We got to keep working on these things.
I'll put this out I'll put this out to listeners for the next Feminist Corner. Why don't we have more like women juniors? Like Fred is Fred
That
Jr.
was a really good point, actually. I saw that in the show notes.
I'm not Fred Jr., by the way.
Well, you're Fred, though.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be. That's an American thing. So
No, but I think
I know what you
the
mean,
naming of
Yeah.
a child
right,
after
but
the father.
distinguish between your dad. You'd say you're Fred Jr., right?
Yeah.
And he's Fred Senior, right? Or Senor.
It's more like he's Fred Senior and I'm just Fred.
You've just claimed
now.
Fred.
Yeah.
Did you ask his
Hey,
permission?
when you got your
I locked it
PhD,
in,
did you wing that?
Are there
one,
still 3 Freds?
No, there's only 2.
Was there 3 in any part of your life?
Yeah.
What happened then? Were you
What do you
definitely
think
Fred Jr.?
happened? Oh,
Pardon?
Were you definitely Junior then?
I was actually called Little Fred.
Oh, little Fred.
And then I was taller than Dad, so it didn't really work. So
I still call you Little
I
Fred.
thought that was the name of your John. Isn't that what Zoe calls it? Zoe, right in.
you have fun with that.
So yeah, let us know, listeners, in the listener mail if you want for the next Feminist Corner. Do you think we should have more women juniors?
What? Just mums naming their daughters after
Yeah.
themselves?
A while ago, I went to see Harry McCleary show live, and it was a little startling because I was wondering how they were going to do the dogs. You guys are familiar with Harry McCleary.
From Donaldson's Dairy.
Arr, arr. That's right. Let me give you a bit
I
of a
barely remember.
squiz of what kind of... That's kind of what we saw when we went to see Harry McCleary live.
A butt.
This?
Yeah, what I'm drawing.
Oh,
It was...
oh, a human.
You have to describe it for the listeners.
No, I don't, because they should be watching. They should be watchers rather than listeners. It's the day of the talkies is done with. It was people in dog suits, leotards basically, flexing and stretching
Like
around.
cats?
Sort of like cats, but really low budget and called dogs. And the costumes were just revealing. There was a lot of stretching.
Were they both sexes?
No.
They're all of which sex?
Oh, no, I think there were people of both sexes. But the main thing was that they, it was the Dalmatian that was most disconcerting. You could see, like, the junk and in the trunk.
But you can see the junk in a normal dog.
Yeah, but I'm at a kids show, like... It was a bit confronting, is all I'm saying. And the masks are really weird. And I wondered... You know what I wondered?
Kids like it, though, because kids might just not even know.
Yeah,
They might not
well,
even
I know.
get into their,
Yeah.
So what would you have to tape it up?
Well, it was just a bit full on. And it made me wonder if there were people in the audience that had gone, like adults with interests in furry
Furry?
culture,
Very low.
who would have, word gotten around, booked tickets, you know, gone in
Maybe
because
it
it was
wasn't even supposed to
essentially.
be for children.
I think it was a big furry show.
Now that's the movie I like to show because I haven't seen it. Is that horse movie?
Zoo.
Zoo. Yeah.
You get a copy of that.
What's that? Do I even want to know?
What's about you've seen that video on the internet? That guy getting raped. Well, not
Strangely, well,
voluntary
I haven't.
raped by a horse.
How do you be voluntary raped?
No, he just had sex with a horse.
Legitimate
He
rape.
put himself in the situation where he had, and the horse went too far.
I haven't seen this video. I don't think I want to. So you're going to show that at your cinema?
Well, whatever they show in the film. In
There's
Zoo.
a film about it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a documentary about it because he got
I'm gonna have
he
to
had
watch
intercourse with the horse. They were running a fuck farm.
this. Wasn't this in Perth? Or was this? A
Oh,
different...
it was,
No,
I actually worked for
well, they worked for like the aeronautical industry or something,
like
didn't they?
Lockheed or something.
Yeah. And then the other guys running the farm were like, "Holy shit, he's dying!" And then they just dumped him at the nearby hospital in the ER. And guess what? His healthcare wouldn't cover it.
Another thing they should have taught him in school.
Yeah, who would have
Don't
thought it?
bone animals.
Is
I would
that
like
one
to
of the
know that.
lessons? Have you bothered looking it up yet, James? Is it actually illegal to have sex
How would
with
you
an
know
animal?
to look it up though?
How would
I
you
don't
know?
think you
to
do.
look-
You just go with your heart. Just
Yeah, so
bang
you,
it out.
what? So you just start
Mind
banging
over,
animals.
mind over mind, man.
So you just start banging animals.
I think it's obvious that you shouldn't.
That's in the
That's
Ten
one of those
Commandments.
things you
Isn't one
should
of the
talk
Ten
to-
Commandments? Don't bang a beast. Something.
No, I don't think so.
Don't lie with a beast.
You should talk to your friends.
No, I don't
Kids,
think-
if you're thinking about boning a chicken, talk to your mates about it.
What if they all say do it?
They probably would because they're like
Yeah.
teenage. Don't listen to your mates. Do the opposite of what they say.
Yeah, you just
Like the
walk
right
around.
hand,
Parents
left hand.
about it.
This is how things go wrong when people don't communicate, Fred.
Don't look at it.
Lack of communication. So what else? What else have we got? I know there's heaps in the show notes. I know there's like a veritable fuckload of show notes. We could keep this show going for the next 3 years.
We need to-
in the show
the
notes.
US
We need to
military is
go
moving to
through
Perth?
Them. Yes, they
We
are.
need less consumption, more just.
News.
We need a bit of director. We need some timing.
Yeah, we don't want it to be too formal, Joe.
Yeah, we don't wanna get caught up in
Military. US
issues.
military is coming. Hillary came and said, "You're taking it.
Yeah.
We're dropping troops off
Really?
ASAP."
So it'll be
Yeah.
like when the fleet's in.
Well,
And
and
this is gonna
it'll be based in Rockingham, so
The sluts are we got?
all the girls
Mad
be
for
going
that.
to Rockingham on the train.
Fred,
to-
feminist corner.
We're out of feminist corner.
Oh,
Yeah.
no slut shaming, Fred.
Oh,
Outrageous.
what? Campbell, that's a bit
I'm not allowed to shame-
sexist to assume that sluts refer to
I
women.
could have been talking about the female soldiers.
That doesn't make it any.
They'll be on heat, won't they?
Why are you not allowed to
Getting
be
off
down
the
on
ship.
sluts?
You're not allowed to be down on sluts.
Just can't shame sluts.
What?
People are allowed to be
Shaming it. So you're
slutty
allowed
as
to
they
be
want.
promiscuous.
You're allowed
Yeah.
to be as promiscuous
Why?
as you want.
Why
It
not?
wasn't necessarily the sluttiness. It's more just like clogging up the streets.
What, hot dog style? Just doing it.
No, yeah, or just getting loose, getting into fights and stuff.
All
Didn't,
right. So the sailors are coming, and this is
Didn't
going to
one
be
of
a
your
massive conflict.
ex-girlfriends, Fred, get caught chucking a whiz behind a car while she was chasing sailors in Northbridge?
No. I'm not answering that question.
She's listening as well.
What?
So this is going to be
This is a story I seem
this
to
is going to be a
remember of
massive
girls
conflict
going
of
wild.
interest because WA's number one
How
trading
many-
partner is China. The reason US wants to occupy Western Australia is to lock down the oceans around us to
How many
control-
Secure the Indian Ocean.
How many
secure the
people?
ocean.
How many sailors?
I think there's 2 or 3.
1,000.
1,000 million.
Really? That's a bit off.
I think on a base aircraft carrier.
Really? Can't they just base it in San Francisco or some shit? It's like closer. Just go straight.
No, it's for the Indian Ocean.
Oh.
What do you mean it's close?
Oh,
Close
it's
to
China.
China.
Just go straight in there.
Well, they want to be able to go straight in there from us. So, I don't know. I think in the next 10 years it's going to put us in an interesting pickle.
Oh, we should just get over the United States.
And who do we back? China.
No one.
China.
Go independent.
I think this is a perfect opportunity for Westralia to flex its muscle and break free.
Hey, now we've got all the US. We should get them to deploy some nukes and then we secede. Boom.
Yeah.
lost.
What, create a nuclear wasteland through the Northern Territory down?
We turn it into desert. And
Just
we
nuke
know
Ad-
life. On
nuke
our way.
Adelaide and
Yeah. No, I don't nuke Adelaide.
why not?
There's a lot of people there, James.
Oh right. Oh, you're talking about like people dying.
Yeah, it's usually a consequence of
Well,
setting
some-
off nuclear
some
bombs in
moral-
life.
I thought you were like going to be like, oh, I love Adelaide. It's really cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, not cool, but
Right.
shouldn't kill them
Not,
anyway.
not worth nuking. It's just
Oh,
leave it.
Not
leave it
worth
to
a
its own
nuke.
thing.
All right. So, US military. Yeah, I kind of not keen on military action, so it doesn't make me too happy.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's right. They shouldn't
Fred,
have
have
other
you
pe-
checked
other
out
countries
the,
naval bases in your own base.
We checked out the UFOs in Denver.
I saw the video. I don't
Convinced?
know. Nah.
Unconvinced?
Yeah.
Well,
Weather
the whole
balloon?
point was this guy filmed his own stuff and then he brought out the news crew and they saw
Yeah,
the
it
same
just kind of
thing.
looks like a bit of dust flinging around in the wind. I don't know.
But they know to
Dust in
turn
the
up at
wind.
a certain time and it happens.
Dust
Isn't
in the
that,
wind.
isn't that kind of weird that they can't explain it?
Yeah, I guess.
Only for a moment.
Are you going to go looking for UFOs?
Sure. I'll figure out the time and the place and I'll hang out.
Fred, are you going to go to a show? If Joe Rogan comes to town, you're going to go to see one of his shows?
Oh, Joe Rogan, do it.
I'm not the hugest Joe Rogan fan. So
Why not?
Oh, you
I
are
just don't like
too.
You will be. You'll get
Tell
into
me
it.
what I'm gonna
Are you going to wear a leather
No, I
jacket
listen
to
to
the
some
show?
of his podcasts and I'm like, he's alright.
Yeah.
Oh, but you got to listen for the zings. That's the thing.
He just
Listen
like-
again.
He just like
In the moment,
sits
you don't
around
hear
talking
them.
about
Bubblers.
his like stupid chamber that he retired, like sits in and gets baked.
Oh, that I want one of them.
You don't even smoke.
So,
You don't need to, man. You just go in there and
Why?
just trip.
Oh,
Have you
is
ever
that
been in a
his-
sensory
that's-
deprivation?
Sorry.
Sensory deprivation
I thought he was
chamber?
just having a
smoking
compression
chamber.
session.
What, just going like under his tuna or something.
Dutch ovening it.
yeah. AC/DC's joined iTunes. Surprise, surprise! They're selling their songs by singles because they want to sell out and just make money.
How much more money could they possibly make? They're like one of the world's highest paid
They're
entertainers.
like Australia's highest paid.
No, they're the world's and Australia's.
They're not the world.
Yeah, they are. Don't you remember when... Oh, you didn't go to the AC/DC Museum exhibition when it came.
No, I was super busy. I was like halfway through a thing.
Oh, you could
could stroll in and walk around. I went and only took like 15 minutes.
Enlighten me. They're the world's biggest entertainers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it depends who's touring. It's either them or the Rolling
They
Stones.
are the highest
Oh, yeah.
selling band of all time.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Back in Black's the highest selling non-solo artist album, I think.
Higher than like
Beatles
Zeppelin or
and-
like the Beatles and
Yeah.
stuff.
Zeppelin's a bit poncy, man.
I suppose they're the people.
Akadaka. Fuck yeah. You know, AC/DC, it's a code for homosexuality.
No, it's not.
Yeah, because of the plugs.
Going in and out,
Shit.
on and off.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, just think about it.
Which do you prefer, Fred? AC or DC?
AC.
I like the lightning bolt the best.
Let's say that like Tesla got his stuff going. Could we?
What do you mean by stuff?
Like, could you? Like, if he actually had like a tower in Central Perth that powered everything. in Perth.
Central Perth?
Yeah.
Or in Central Park?
In Perth,
Like wireless.
just one tower
okay.
that powers the whole city.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I don't know if it's
wirelessly.
possible.
Why not? Tesla was onto something.
Because I don't really know how it works, but if you're generating, didn't like sparks fly out of the pavements and like you just I think that's metal. It's like a giant.
Or was
micro- I
that
think
just
metal's like-
propaganda spread by the AC folks?
Because Edison was pro DC. He wanted DC delivery, so he promoted that. Tesla wanted AC,
Oh, okay.
and then that's why they invented the electric chair because it runs on AC power, and he wanted to scare the shit out of everyone.
But AC/DC just wants to join those two titans of the intellect in one homosexual embrace.
Yeah.
Apparently, the story is when they were kids, they saw it on their mum's vacuum cleaner, and they named themselves AC/DC.
I saw that on...
And
At the
Angus
museum
Young, he used to go
exhibition.
straight from school to the gigs. That's why he started wearing the school uniform, and people loved it. So he just done it for the past 50
yeah,
years. Or
you'd
whatever
know
it is.
even more trivia if you'd gone to the show.
I went to AC/DC live. Does that count?
Nah, that was a stadium show. They sold out by then, man.
Yeah.
museum exhibitions where it's at.
We have never even gone to Bon Scott's grave.
No. I went to that funny
Podcast
pokey looking
live at
statue.
midnight on his
Yeah, Fremantle. It looks weird. He looks like a pixie.
He kind of did look like a pixie.
Mm. There's this great moment. There's this great interview. I think it was for Top of the Pops or Countdown. I can't remember. And he's walking down the street and with the interviewer. And you're just seeing from, like, I don't know, about belly button up. And he's not wearing a top. And he's got his long flowing hair, kind of Robert Plantish. And he's got this grin and he's got, like, missing a tooth or something. He's really nugging. He's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I don't know. I don't care. Who cares, eh? And the camera keeps pulling back, and you can see he's wearing jeans, and he's got a banana stuffed down his jeans, like sticking out the top. And he pulls it out, and he starts like peeling it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, just got a bit of fruit. Yeah, feeling a bit of a fruity mood today." And he's like eating this banana like really provocatively, and the presenter's like cracking up. And then the camera keeps pulling out, and it's not jeans he's wearing; it's cut off shorts, and they're like. Leaving nothing to the imagination. They're so cut off. It's at crotch level, and his dick's a bulging. Like, it's massive. I don't know if these things look painted on these pants. And the camera keeps pulling out, hairy legs, thighs, the lot. He's a sticky guy, and then some thongs on his feet. And he's eating this banana, and his dick's out, and he's like, eh. But it's just amazing. Like, in terms of provocation, it was incredible. It's one of those images you can't get out. And so, dear listeners, I'll draw a picture of it.
Have you seen the latest photos of the Spy Kids girl?
Thanks to you, I did.
I haven't. Do I want to? Am I going to be presently surprised or disgusted?
Oh, it depends what you like in women.
Depends if you only remember her from the Spy Kids films.
I don't. I've never seen Spy Kids.
In which case, you might find it a bit...
You know who is insanely hot from Spy Kids is the mum. And she's still hot now.
Carla. Yeah.
I saw her in a show just the other day, and she's in her mid-40s, and man, whoa. She's like the hottest woman.
She was in Sin City. She got
Carla
her hand eaten.
Gugino.
Yeah.
Gugino. That chick. Oh, yeah. Danny Trejo's pretty cool.
He's hot.
Trejo, isn't it?
Trejo. I don't know how to pronounce
Trejo.
Trejo. Have you seen the trailer for Killer Karaoke?
I have not. Am I supposed to watch these things before I turn up?
Have you done the readings for the week, Trent?
Well, admittedly, I haven't
saw an
seen
ad for that. Like a banner ad, and I had to remember.
You saw the video of it
why is Steve
with audio
hosting? No, it was just a picture of it. And even that was like, what the hell?
What do you imagine the show is about, Fred? Did it explain it in the banner?
No. So it has Steve-O hosting it.
Yeah.
And there's like kind of dorky looking people. I imagine it's like they do karaoke, and if they don't do it well enough, the trapdoor goes off or they get slimed or something.
And they get killed.
And then it's just like, you're out. But something bad happens to them if they suck.
I'll tell you wrong. Do you have a second guess of what Killer Karaoke might involve?
Is it like the best karaoke in the world?
Only murderers can do it?
Oh, is it karaoke on death row?
No.
Is it karaoke...
So you don't know either, Gil?
No, I didn't read the show notes either. I just wanted to handball it off to Fred to get reprimanded. It's like old technique.
So it's got Steve-O. He just talks to people?
He just talks to people.
No? Some sort of obstacle course while they're doing karaoke?
Closer?
Oh, do they have to, like, do really, like, difficult tasks while karaokeing? Like... shave their balls or
furniture or something.
Maybe.
Crazy shit.
I mean, there's only one example in the trailer, so I don't know where it's going to go from there, right? Do you want to know?
Yeah, I do want to know. No, you can tell me. I'll watch it later.
Basically, in the example, there's a woman. She's a karaoke star, and she's singing along, and she's sort of being ushered along as she goes. And as she sings, she has to put a hand in the box, and the audience can see what's in the box, but she can't. And she just feels what's inside.
Yeah.
And then she has to move on.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's inside?
Well, like, the example, there is like a rattlesnake.
Why is she
the other one was like giant, tarantulas.
Oh.
But
The other one was like, she had to actually, the last one, she had to put her head up into like a box full of
And she has
insects.
to keep... Where's the challenge? Because she's got
just to keep singing without screaming.
That
Yeah,
sounds
I remember-
like not the best. How many drugs did this guy do before he came on this?
And of course, she is screaming, so she's trying to sing, and she doesn't know what it is. She just puts her hand, and she feels like a reptile in there. She's like, ah! But she doesn't even know what it is. Like, it could have just been like a not scary snake, but these snakes look really scary. Like, obviously, they've taken the fangs out 'cause I don't think they actually want them to die. But
I saw a Japanese TV show that was similar to that, where they had contestants and they showed them this. It was like that. They were on like some sort of conveyor belt, and they put a dummy on the conveyor belt and put it along so they could watch the trial. And ice bucket. It was all automated, and they'd go along, and an ice bucket would tip for really cold ice, and then something. I don't know, something else was scary. And then it got to this cage, and they'd put like a live panther in it. And it reached down and it was like clawing at it and like mauling it. And the contestants like, oh, fuck. Anyway, they're insane because they were like, okay, we'll do it anyway. And they hop on and they're laying there like freaking out. And then, what's happened is as the audience, you can see that they've taken the panther away and they've just put someone in like a panther suit in there. And it gets to it and the claw comes down and people are like, ah! And they're totally losing their shit. But it wasn't a real panther. Why would you agree to do it if you saw that doll getting
maybe
mauled?
not on a Japanese show? I'd probably not agree to do much. But if it was not a Japanese show, I think I'd agree to almost anything because they're not going to.
Oh,
they're not going to kill
Freddie.
you.
So
know
this
they're not
is
going to
this
kill
is
you.
the Bon Scott illustration. I can show you sort of what he looks like. So the camera's sort of like this, and he's having this interview. They're walking down the street, and it sort of reveals a little bit more. And imagine he's got the banana stuffed in his pants, then he starts eating it, and the camera comes out a bit more, and you can see all the action, and then a bit more, and he's just walking down the street like this.
wow.
And it's probably the most amazingly erotic thing I've ever seen.
Didn't he have a big girl fetish? I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't think it was him. I think it was the other guy. Who was the next
Angus.
AC/DC? Angus. No. Oh, Angus Young had a big girl fetish, did he?
No,
Big
I thought it was
Rosie.
Bon Scott
Did he? I don't know.
because he wrote some of the
Whole
songs.
Lot of Rosie.
Yeah, Whole Lot of Rosie.
What a Rosie.
And he's such a little skinny man. that
I
you
thought he
can
liked.
imagine.
I thought he had like a three-way with a couple of Rosies. But it was really sad. Did you read the letters that he was writing back home to his sister and his mum?
No.
Well, no, you didn't
Okay,
because you
yeah,
didn't go
get
to the
over it.
exhibition.
Get over it.
James, did you read them? Because they were arranged chronologically. And
Read
there's
what?
The letters that he was writing back to his mum and sister.
It's been like 2 years. Since
Oh,
I've
okay.
been-
No, pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Because there's one that's written like just a few months before he died, and he's talking about like going back home to Australia and like he's got enough money, he can buy a house now, and he can spend like half the year there and half the year touring, and it'd be good to have like an own place and da.
How young was he when he died?
I don't know.
Like 23. I think it was
Pretty young.
So it turns out that advice for designer vagina surgery
Just rolls off
is
the tongue.
often poor, inaccurate, and unsubstantiated.
Well, that's why it needs to be taught in high school.
Yeah, this is the problem for you. If you just go, oh, I'm going to go out there and try and find out how to do my health insurance, you get stuffed.
Oh, you are ridiculous.
What source do you go to? What's the trusted source if it's not the government school?
Designer vagina. What do they do to them?
They design them. You can get a
Like,
Gucci
get a
one,
double
you can
one
get a
or
Louis
something.
V one.
Get it made bigger or smaller?
But yeah, I mean, you're rolling the dice as soon as you get plastic surgery. Like,
no, you
Well,
just go to
you've been
Thailand and
there.
get a pair of fake tits.
yeah, but I know girls
Not
have
me, it's
not been
him.
happy with the results.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. James has been there. He had his
Yeah.
foot done.
Yeah.
Foot surgery for that webcam he does.
Jewish footsies. Yeah, well, that's why you don't go somewhere dodgy. You get it done at a proper hospital by a proper person.
But there's no such thing as a problem.
Are you pro
Is this like the association of cosmetic
getting
surgery?
stuff tucked in?
No,
Like-
no way.
Like, in general?
No,
Or in the
like
vaginal sense?
labia.
No, let him hang.
Let it hang.
Yeah, whatever. There's all sorts.
Throw it over your shoulder like a regimental soldier.
Soldier. No, it takes all sorts. They're all great. I think it's wrong. Unless there's some sort of medical issue.
What if it's an embarrassing bodies type extreme situation?
But
If it's affecting your health, like, when we very controversial farmers, we cut off the tail of the sheep to stop it getting from fly blown.
Yeah.
yeah, but that's a health issue,
It's a
isn't
health
it?
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Peter says that's cruel, and there's alternative forms of.
I think there is, isn't there?
I don't know what it would be, but isn't it weird that sheep in Australia can't have tails?
It's not tails. The whole region around their arse needs to be shaved. But they don't shave
but
it, so they just cut the skin off.
Crotching isn't cruel. They do that, but it's when they cut.
No, they do crotching
flaps
to
off.
stop them being fly blown.
Yeah, but when you're young, you cut their whole tail off.
You cut their balls off as well.
Jesus Christ.
We used to do that in Tasmania.
Yeah.
You put a rubber band on it, and then you just wait, and they just
Plop out.
pop off.
Do you have to sew it up again?
No, I think that's the whole point.
Like an umbilical cord.
Yeah.
God, that's making.
Yeah, I feel pretty nauseous already. Oh. It's like that transgender thing we were talking about last week.
Do you think magazines
With the metal wire.
like Playboy should be banned for
From it.
like airbrushing labia?
Because
they're-
they're
they're
allowed
all
to show
they're
it.
giving
anyway, so-
Perception that women have the same vagina.
Nobody reads Playboy anymore, so it doesn't matter.
I guess.
Yeah, but that's like, they're giving the perception that all women are Playboy models,
Hmm.
and they're not, so,
What?
yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, I know I go to Playgirl magazine for all my positive male role modelling.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And the half mongrels that they wave
Do
around.
they? Are you allowed to show?
I think you can show a half mongrel.
Really?
Yeah, not a fully.
Who judges?
I don't know. There's probably a board.
Is
Too
it like a
much.
standard? If it's more than
I
like
don't know, actually. I don't
70 degrees to
I don't know.
the leg.
Well, they should
Ban.
Well, why is it that none of us know?
What do they teach you?
What are the teachers at high school? This is bullshit.
I don't know.
Where 3 grown men don't even know the decency standards of erections.
Yeah.
We're dealing with these things every day.
Can you show
multiple
an
times a
erection
day.
under clothes in a
Well,
film?
That Bon
I
Scott
think I've
thing was
talked about on the
offensive.
show is that
He was packing something.
the mayor on the wire, like they showed him getting a blowjob.
No, they didn't, did
Yeah.
they? They showed his dick.
Yeah,
No,
Really?
they
the black
did.
mayor. I said I wouldn't show the white mayor.
No, it wasn't the mayor. Some of those gratuitous sex
Not
scenes in
the
Wire.
senator, the mayor.
The shit. Clay Davis.
Yeah, it wasn't Clay Davis.
No,
it's
the old
mayor
dude. Yeah.
that the white guy replaces.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did not show his dick.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm pretty sure it's in the show notes. I'm pretty sure I found a
What,
picture
with a
of it.
boner?
We've talked about this before, like depictions of penises in cinema.
He had a boner.
Yeah.
What?
Well-
How much of one?
I mean, it was in the girl's hand, so I can't tell if it's like fully
it's
erect or
getting a
she's
wristy.
she's holding it up.
Really? I gotta look this up, but I'll do it in the privacy of my own. That had one of the most. Yeah. The wire.
No, the Nintendo released the Wii U. Did you guys go out and grab one?
No. Next.
This it features their first sort of social network, and of course it's a tablet with a pen. So what issues do they face?
I already read this one, but yeah.
Yeah, what's the first thing you're going to draw?
A picture of a face.
But apparently in
They-
Japan,
it was
that's
in-
not really an issue.
it's-
That's our dirty
Yeah.
Euro minds.
So it turns out that Westerners just draw so many penises that even though they anticipated this problem, their codec they had developed was not quite ready. So they're constantly having to tweak the codec of how to block penis images on the device. Is this sexist, Campbell? Should we be allowed to draw as many penises as we want? Is this
look.
a male issue that we should get up on our...
Yeah, I think
soapbox
so.
about?
Why are we trying to cock shame people?
Do people get blocked for
couldn't-
drawing vaginas?
Probably.
Or boo?
Yeah.
Almost definitely. Yeah.
probably.
Okay.
I think it's probably across the board.
It's just anything that you're not allowed to see normally. You can't just draw and expect it to find to see.
Have you seen Super Duper? What's that movie?
Super bad? Or is he
Super
in
Bad,
class
where he's
drawing the
obsessed
dick?
with
Yeah.
drawing penises.
Didn't you go through that phase, Campbell?
Didn't we all? bullshit. Don't pin this on me. You know what I was remembering?
You're the
though?
artist, so you could probably draw the best ones.
People in high school used to request me to draw various classmates having sex.
Oh,
Really?
sweet.
Still
Yeah.
have any of these?
I know someone who has some of them.
Who?
Primo.
I think so.
Vintage Campbell.
I know.
I want to see them.
Yeah, and people would be like, "Oh, draw them getting it off." I'd be like, like, whoa.
Wow.
You should restart that business, Campbell.
I know. I was like, why wasn't I charging for
yeah.
that? Just a few bucks, even.
What kind of fantasy couplings would you like to see?
Like movie stars hooking up.
Yeah, or characters or identities. If you wanted to develop a portfolio, you would. What,
Examples.
So
I
before
could
you
give.
could start selling it, what would you
Oh, I don't know.
like?
Maybe
Hillary and Putin.
Yeah, Hillary and Putin. Maybe
wants to
Jennifer
see that?
Aniston and Steve Buscemi.
Oh wow!
Be pretty good.
Would you put Steve Buscemi eyes on Jennifer Aniston?
Yeah, I'd probably mix it
You'd be
all up.
staring her down. Like,
They'd probably both be Buscemi eyes.
so you're going to start off. Yeah, okay.
What else?
Steve Buscemi eyes.
Yeah, has anyone ever done a
I bet you
remix
someone
of
must have
Betty
done that.
Davis eyes with Steve Buscemi?
I bet you. I'll find it when I put it in the show notes if it does exist.
See, every week we need to produce some cut of something.
Yeah.
Last week was that wanking ad.
So what? It's going to be Steve Buscemi eye.
Oh, my notes. I've got an idea for, you know how we're like ideas if we're going to hire some people in China to do stuff for us?
I don't
Oh,
remember.
yes, because it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah, no, we're
last-
going to get them to edit things for us, so we don't
Yeah.
have to do it.
Like Steve Buscemi eyes.
Yeah, so we're like, Just one text. Steve Buscemi.
last week was Thanksgiving in the US, and I was thinking like we could get the Chinese to edit like every turkey incident from every American sitcom or TV show ever made, because like every
Okay.
show has to have
Well,
a
that's right.
Thanksgiving special, and someone has to screw up the turkey.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool. Super cut.
Well, look, isn't there that? What's that website where people bid to do a
Pitch
job
ideas,
for $5?
yeah.
So the first one
Yeah,
was
yeah.
going to
What's
be
that $5 thing?
every blind joke from Becca.
yeah.
But what's
This
that?
could be a series. So every
what's
blind
that
joke.
$5 site?
Is it just for $5? I thought you just
Yeah.
put a job out and people can
Yeah.
bid to do it.
Yeah. Well, why don't we do one a week?
Okay.
It costs us what, $1 each. We can get this stuff done.
can start a Fangin' Around
Someone
account.
singing
Yeah.
Betty Davis eyes with Steve Buscemi eyes. Someone would do that for $5.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, start it up. But what about the supercut of Becca? That's going to take
Someone
time.
would do it.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, let's do it then.
I'll
Let's
start
do it.
I'll put in $5.
I'll chip in.
I'll put in $10 for Steve.
Also-
Buscemi. We have to write some lyrics. though.
we
What do they
have
write the
to
lyrics?
No,
start.
they just changed Steve. Betty
Just
Davis
that
to
bit
Steve
of the song. It's not going to make any sense.
Fred, when's your last episode going to be?
We'll have to figure that out.
Because we want to do a award show, and we've got to come up with categories of awards that we need to give the Fangin' Around trophies
To things and people, and
Yeah, so we have to.
like the best something. Or something.
Yeah, or the worst, or
All right, so let's start this account up and let's get some money rolling in. Even if we own, there's 4 of us in theory. It's $5 a month we each chip in.
Just to have
Stuff made.
stuff done that we decree.
we like reviewing ads. We reviewed the Microsoft Surface ads. We
we
reviewed
gave it
the
thumbs
left-handed Beyond Blue ad. And this week I've got the Megan Fox brings Sequest technology to laptops.
What do you mean by Sequest?
Did you watch the
technology?
video?
It goes underwater. I'm watching it now. So I should off maybe. No, I didn't. I didn't
wanna
realize
watch
we were supposed to pre-watch these things.
How long have we been doing this show for?
I told you I like to keep it fresh.
Well, you're the audience point of view, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're the one who has
I'm
no
the
idea
simple-
what we're
the
talking
simple
about.
one. So, all right. I'm just watching the ad.
What do you
But
make
without
of it?
sound.
Yeah.
So you're trying to work out, say what's going on then. If
She picked up some lobsters. She was in a restaurant. She picked up some lobsters, put them in the ocean. Now she's in like an ultra-modernistic house talking to scientists, maybe?
Are they in white lab coats?
Yeah, now
Yep,
she's
scientists.
in a lift. She's getting sassy. No, she's hanging out with the nerds. Dolphins. I don't understand how Window 8's going to fit into this. She's obviously doing science. Now she's got a turnip. Oh, I believe it was an artichoke. and she's obviously spending a lot of time. She's spent over 100 days with the dolphins and the scientists.
Does it actually come up with the words, I've just spent 100 days?
Yeah, she's up to day 108. She thinks she's trying to talk to dolphins.
Did she talk to them?
Yeah, in the end.
What's an ad for, Fred?
Acer
computer.
Yeah.
I think basically what happens is she gets an Acer laptop and she's so inspired by how awesome it is that she decides to put all her career, stop being an actress and become a researcher to find out how to talk to dolphins and like sort of create like speech recognition like they did in Sequest.
It's not real though, James.
Is it?
This technology does not exist.
But do you think...
What is that? What the fuck is that ad then? Did that thing happen or not?
Do you think she's trying to make fun
Why
of herself?
are they using
or they...
Megan Fox in it then?
Yeah.
As though, like, we know this person. Did you know she's given up acting?
You don't think that would make a headline somewhere that Megan Fox figured out how to talk to dolphins? You would have heard that somewhere else other than that.
But why are they making that ad? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I don't mind someone going like, you know, when Andrew Daddo's like, oh yeah, you know, what's new? What's new in marketing products? You know, oh Andrew, what do you think of, you know, Kellogg's Just Right? Oh well, Kellogg's Just Right's brilliant because whatever. Maybe he eats it, maybe he doesn't. But don't go saying that you've given up your $1 billion career and have become a marine research scientist,
think it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek.
So do you think are they taking the piss out of her, or she taking the piss out of herself? Does she realise what she's being?
And what about the people that are actually trying to do this thing?
Oh, they're going to be...
Wouldn't you be pissed off if you'd, like, calculated or measured the whatever the fuck you measured?
And then they made an ad.
And then they made an ad with, like,
stoked.
Tom Cruise, and he was like, I just figured this out. And you were like,
not
oh, bullshit,
real.
I figured it out.
But no one has figured it out. And no one... I don't know if anyone's trying. And it's just a joke.
No, I'm morally outraged.
Science for any occasion. What, Fred, do you think is... How high is the tallest tree in the world?
I'll just look that up on the show notes. Probably about 300 metres. There's a fundamental limit, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah, because of the water gets sucked up to the top of the tree through like capillary action or something. So if the tree's too high, it just can't suck the water up. So
But can't it capture enough through rainfall?
No,
what if you're in a
sucks it up
ultra-high-
through the roots.
But what if it develops this? What if it's got a separate system that can funnel it through the
yeah,
leaves?
that
and you
could do
have
that.
it
It could do
pouring-
that, but none of them have.
Don't they?
No. Well, some of them have actually, but they're not.
Oh.
They're not trees. They're like little plants up in the rainforest.
Oh, that live in
don't
the
have
trees.
roots. Yeah, they live in the company.
Yeah.
This is the limit to like
With
your standard tree.
what is it? With a vascular? No. What system does it have?
Capillary system.
Capillary? Tubular system?
I don't know what it is.
Tubus.
So the answer is 115 metres according to this website. That we're-
Disappointing. Fred said 300.
Yeah, I just made that. up.
Yeah. Now, Fred, in Perth, that we have our main sort of football stadium has these large light towers that in the show notes I'll probably give a photo of it. That stand over the stadium, like they're like 3 times the height of the stadium.
Yeah.
And they stand over it and they beam light down onto the ground.
Yeah.
You've obviously seen them.
Yeah.
How high do you think they are?
70 meters.
50 meters.
100 meters. I don't know.
Close, 65.
Whoa.
Tall ass tree.
Yeah.
Wow.
Have you guys seen that TED talk where that guy's talking about climbing the biggest trees in the world? And he talks about taking his kids
I would love
up.
to. Apparently, the latest Nat Geo's got a big article. That's what got me into this.
It's got some mind-melting like graphs and things. Not graphs, but just info. Well, just illustrations where he's like, "This is where we are, and this is how big this like branch of the tree is, and this is how big." And you're just like, "Holy crap!" It's like one of those Power of 10 things, but a tree and people climbing it, and they're up like, 100 meters in the air, like picking into the tree and climbing up, and his kids like 10-year-old kids are up there.
Now, where did the tallest trees in the world used to be? Right.
I don't know. I'm not. It's just most definitely Harry's like scientific thing. I don't know.
The thing is, I've already talked to Campbell about this the other day. So
probably
I'm talking-
Australia. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so passionate
Yeah.
about it.
And they cut them all
In
down.
Tasmania?
The mountain ash tree or something. Eucalypt tree.
There's still some
in Tasmania, but they were all through Victoria as well, and they cut them all down in Victoria, and they only exist now in Tasmania.
Well, they'll just wait.
And the tallest tree there, they burnt down, trying to do a fire break or something.
Well, they'll just grow back, right?
These trees are like thousands of years old.
Yeah, so, you know.
Do you think Tasmania will be around in another
Well, if
3,000
anything's likely
years?
to be around in 3,000 years. Oh, I guess maybe not global warming.
What is the oldest tree that they've ever found?
That Prometheus tree.
How old is it?
It's like 1,600 years, isn't it? No, 3,000 years?
Well, maybe.
Better be more than 3,000, or else it'll be a disappointing fact.
Your fact's not good enough, do you?
Yeah.
It's around 5,000 years old.
Didn't they cut
Is it still standing?
Yeah, I've read that.
No.
Yeah.
They cut it down because they were trying to measure how
The
old
guy
it
was isn't the guy trying to drill his drill bit into it?
Yeah, he was taking a
and then
core
it
sample and
Cut,
it
he
got
got stuck,
stuck.
so he just cut the thing down.
No, I think he contacted his like supervisor and was like, "What should I do?" And he was like, "You should cut it down or something." And he's
This
like,
drill bit's
Maybe
just
he
so
didn't know
valuable.
it was the only one.
Well, they didn't know how old it was. It wasn't until it was cut down and he was counting it. and he
Couldn't
was
they
like,
drill another
"Oh,
hole to find
shit."
out how old it is? Or does drilling a hole in it kill it as well?
No,
No, you can drill a hole in. That's why they drill a hole. But you'd think he was like, "Oh, I think this tree's really old. I'm going to drill a hole in it. Oh shit, the bit fell off. Should I cut the tree down or just like chalk that up as losses?"
But maybe there's a bunch of them, and this is the one they know. They know it's the oldest tree in the world. 'Cause
Get
they cut
another
it down.
drill bit and drill in.
Maybe there's one next door, and there's probably 2,000.
I read an interview with him where he was like devastated. Still
You
devastated.
feel like an idiot, yeah, because everyone is going to hate you.
But not even like idiot.
Especially the
he was
plant
like,
biologist.
He was like, feels absolutely awful about it. Not just normal. Like, oh, that was a bit of a cock up. Like, they think it's the oldest living thing on the planet. That's
Not
pretty
anymore.
massive. Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's pretty massive. It's not just like, oh, yeah. It almost makes me sick just thinking about doing that.
Do you guys hear about those Italian volcanists, seismologists, that they failed to predict this earthquake and then they got sent to jail?
Yeah, or no, they predicted it, but they said, "Oh, we don't think it's going to be that bad."
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, well, they were like, "Oh, there's an earthquake, or there's earthquakes happening, but it's not probably won't. Or there's a 70% chance it's not going to escalate or whatever.
yeah.
It's probably going to be okay."
Well, that's bullshit.
And then it like happened. It was huge, and people died, and now they're like, "Yeah, in jail."
That's such bullshit.
Yeah, well, everyone's outraged about that. Everyone's like, "What the fuck?"
Yep, I'm outraged as well.
What's next?
They've been able to study, do some like good study work. What do you call it, Fred? Research,
Science, yeah.
science on Make.
What's Make?
Make is a dwarf planet. It's out in the Kuiper belt, and it's 2/3 the size of Pluto.
That's
Lame.
not even anything.
It doesn't have any known satellites.
Why is it called Make?
It is named after something from the mythology of the Ranpuni people of Easter Island, who made those big statues.
Easter Island.
It's only 930 miles across. That's pathetic. It's not even a planet.
Anyway, so apparently it passed by past another star, so they were able to. I don't know. What do they do for everyone? Things like the transit of Venus, I guess.
Yeah, you can see its shadow.
Yeah.
That's how they find all the extrasolar planets. They look at a star and they see it gets a little tiny bit dimmer as the planet goes in front of it.
Do you have a bottle opener? Where'd it go? I would have had it.
Apparently, the study resulted in them debunking the previous belief that Make had a significant atmosphere.
So it's even crapper than they thought it
I
was.
should just get rid of it. Make.
It's got a good name.
Just blow it up. I want to live on Make, Fred.
Does it have an atmosphere?
You just found out that it doesn't even have an atmosphere.
Oh, it doesn't have an atmosphere.
Well, the moon is having an atmosphere, and people want to live on there.
Yeah.
do you have another
I want
bottle
to grow up to be
opener?
dinosaurs as well, James, but that's not going to happen either.
Oh, yeah, it's
Where'd it go? Make. So what is it? A dwarf planet?
It's 930 miles across, so that's not even like.
It's at the width of Tasmania.
What's that? 930 miles. It's probably 1,000 k's.
It's not very far. It's like here to Kalgoorlie or something.
Yeah,
Does anyone want another Michelada?
it's 1,500 k's.
To Kalgoorlie?
No,
Oh.
this little planet.
Oh, miles in kilometres.
So it's 1.
Does anyone want another Michelada?
I haven't meant another Michelin. If they go.
Oh. Is that what you do? So is
Well, could we try to blow it up?
so there's some other topics in here that I didn't put, so someone has to
Why would you
introduce them.
blow it up? Just
to try.
Just to show what we can.
Have you seen
just
that?
to test, like, what if there is an asteroid coming right at us?
Have you something? I think it's a moon of Saturn that has a giant asteroid crater.
It's like a third of its size.
Yeah, so it actually does look like the Death Star. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
But I think they discovered it after Star Wars came out.
So they got done for plagiarism by George Lucas.
So, sorry, who mapping the human brain?
Yeah, I was reading this article just today about this New Zealand neuroscientist, maybe, who was trying to graph and chart and map the human consciousness. Yeah, in charts and maps and graphs.
What do you mean?
And I don't quite understand. And the website only provides limited explanation. Apparently the book's public domain and you can download it and stuff.
Is he a bit of a madman?
Well, it's that whole... I think it... Yeah, it's very strange, but the charts... The illustrations that he devised sort of look quite floral. So it's lots of tubes that then open out at the top, and it doesn't seem to... I can't decipher them, but I'm sure if you read the book you could. It just looks fascinating. But is that something...
The website's down. I can't make a comment.
Yeah.
People are loving it. What do you think? I mean,
Sounds like complete and utter quackery. I mean, like, what's he basing his thing on?
yeah.
Just what he thinks the brain would be like. I feel my brain's like a series of opening tubes. Well, it's like art,
so he's mapping it based on how he feels.
I think so.
Okay.
Or like the way the consciousness develops in a human.
Mm.
And he's sort of saying that the only thing we can talk about is human consciousness because we perceive everything through human consciousness.
Mm.
So this is the only thing we can accurately map.
Mm. Yeah, no, I think...
Yeah, but he's just... I don't know, I haven't seen his work, so I can't really comment on.
If you could have your brain backed up on a supercomputer so that you died, and let's just say, for example, that your soul got transferred to the backup of your brain and you're living in a virtual world for as long as they keep the supercomputer running, which is, a long time, would you be like, yep, let's stick around for a while? Would you just like, no?
Of course I'd try it. You got to give it a shot.
Yeah.
If it's terrible, you just suicide.
Can you, though?
Oh,
If they want to keep your brain in there and use your intelligence.
You could
for
put
other
yourself
things.
in the trash bin. An empty trash
Yeah,
bin.
yeah, empty trash. Yeah, go. Do a secure empty trash as well, so you're written over.
Yeah, I'd do it. Would you do it?
Yeah, well, of course, why not? See what happens. But, a lot of people say that you would just get tired. You would over a long enough timeline, you'll just get tired of thinking. You'll just get sick of thinking.
Yeah, so you go and sleep.
Yeah, you go sleep mode, shut the lid.
You mean like...
But when your brain's in a computer...
But presumably if your brain's in a computer, they can sort of send the
simulate
optical information, like simulate optical information to your eyes and your nose and your mouth and your ears and your touch.
What would you guys do with your eternity of time?
If I was on the internet, probably look at cat gifs.
Would you?
Back read the 4chan forums.
Would you like go back to school and learn other things? Or
I'll
would
probably
you...
learn about how the healthcare system works.
Yeah, yeah.
How I managed to afford to have my mind back jump on a
Yeah, you learn and you got the right one.
Yeah. Would you do things?
I think you'd still get bored and you'd get restless and you'd be lazy. You'd be like, it's not like just because your mind's in a computer all of a sudden.
So is it inevitable that
what I
you'd
am
be
anyway.
trying to, splice your penis in half because it's just like you want to feel something?
You might go a bit mad. But
couldn't you jump onto some porgs and have a crack at those? Yeah, this is like lawnmower,
Yeah.
man.
you have the same motivation.
Yeah.
Try and do
What if
stuff.
you just didn't have a physical presence? You could still get so much stuff done. I could just download Photoshop and get
Would
everything
you
done
ever
anyway.
try and maybe go into the simulation of being an animal and try and work out what it's like having to survive as
Be like
like
the
a
body of a panther. Form
yeah,
of a relentless panther.
and surviving in the jungle? Like you have to hunt for your food and
Like-
What if you got so wrapped up in the sim and it was so good, you forgot you were
You're
a brain
human, yeah.
in a computer?
what if that's what we're doing now?
Is Darren Brown going to rip open? Like-
We have to put Darren Brown in the glossary.
Okay, James is now looking at some of these tunnel
Alright.
pictograms.
Looks like a bit like Venn diagrams.
They're really beautiful.
Are they scientific at all? Or are they just
Apparently,
artistic?
apparently they're scientific.
Or are they just polar plots of things?
I can't read them. I mean, I don't know what they depict.
Well, that's like a Greek symbol. Omega?
Yeah, they have plots like that. It might just not be. No, I think he's just making it up. That's just a ridiculous thing.
There is a little
Is
explanation.
this you, Campbell? You're placing this under your pen name, drawing stuff.
Oh, I wish. It's gorgeous. I have no idea what it means.
They're like just plots of things.
It looks like,
It's like a
the shape, the sound that the microphone records.
Yeah, see, that's like some
Cardioid pattern.
or some weird polar function.
You're not a microphone, friend.
Yeah, alright.
So,
Anyway, they're amazing illustrations, whatever he's
Just
depicting.
like,
what's happening in your science world, Fred? You're meant to be the scientist.
Oh, I think,
like my specific science world?
Or you meant to be bringing us other scientists.
There's not much news in science.
I think, well, look, if you don't have much...
There was a Large Hadron Collider, and then there was... Oh, apparently NASA's going to make a big announcement sometime soon.
Or about the Mars landing.
Yeah, about the Mars landing.
The Curiosity rover tweeted that it was being a bit overhyped.
Oh.
Yeah.
What did they expect?
Because I think the quote that was being banging around that this is going to be one for the history books, but
Like
the
this
guy
history
who
of
said it was like,
rovers
well,
and-
I've been saying about the whole mission. So they're trying to downplay it.
Why would
or-
they hype it up like that? You should just say it or not say it. Don't say it.
I don't think they're hyping it up. It's like rumours going around.
in the mill.
But they did actually find methane in the sand, but they think it is just left over from Earth when it left Earth's atmosphere.
I don't know. That's pretty crazy.
Hmm.
So they're not making a big announcement, essentially.
Or they could be. They were just downplaying it. But, after that whole arsenic life form thing, I think they're a bit cautious now about.
That was pretty exciting.
Did that even end up being true?
I thought they fucked up.
Look, just to segue from our previous discussion, science discussion, I think we might be able to jump into my question of the week.
Yep. We
Just,
gotta get
just because it kind of segues.
We need to start wrapping up anyway.
So, what things could we see if we could see other things?
We could.
So we're talking about perception. If we had organs, dolphins can project sonar waves. Bats can too. Echolocation, things like that. Lots of birds have organs or whatever that can detect magnetic fields. What things are imperceivable to us, but in theory we could have an organ that could perceive it?
So have people actually done
Love.
this with. You can feel love in your heart, James.
That's what
Maybe
your
I
heart
don't.
saw.
Right?
Well,
What if you don't?
I don't know. Can't help you. I don't know. It's out of the realm of science. These people have got. They had their fingertips. They had little tiny magnetic pads placed
Yeah,
in their.
we've
We've talked about this, yeah. In the tips of their fingers, so they can sense magnetic and electric fields.
On what scale, though? Can they sense?
So,
can they
for example,
can they
this-
feel the global magnetic fields?
I think it's too weak and sort of everywhere. So it's sort of the
but
same.
how come birds can do it?
They don't know yet. I still don't think they know. They're supposed to have little tiny iron particles in their brains, which is kind of just like a little tiny compass needle, which they sort of measure.
Yeah, but that's fucking nuts.
Well,
Squids can see polarization. I think we've been through this before.
Yeah, so we can.
Hawks can see ultraviolet.
what would they see of polarization?
I don't know.
Is it useful at all?
Yeah,
what can dogs see?
aren't they colourblind?
Yeah, that's what I've been told, that they're colourblind.
Or they just don't understand what colours are.
What?
Like they can see colours, but they don't
I think
understand what
I
colours
think
mean.
No,
because you can
I
try
think
and
if you
test
could
it.
see colours, you'd only evolve the colour perception if you needed it. Otherwise, you'd
Why
drop
do we
it.
need it?
So we can tell the difference between a poison fruit and a
Oh,
non-poison
yeah, I guess
fruit.
you're not going to mistake like a deer for
All those
you know.
frogs are colourful. That is poisonous.
Mm.
Oh yeah. Well, what if a
The
dog ate?
blue ring octopus.
Well, that's why dogs are always eating shit that makes them sick.
But dogs aren't even real. They're like genetically engineered.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess wolf.
Well, you need to look at
wolves
what
would be
wolves can
colourblind.
do. Wolves, where do they usually live? Cold climates.
So they don't need
They
to.
need colour perception, maybe.
So
you can sense
okay. So
magnetic
you with a
fields.
guide dog, you would have to say look at the lower light to say go.
It will recognise the shape.
They'd hear the.
Okay. Have you seen the monkeys that people can get? They are amazing. You can get instead of a guide dog, you can get a monkey, and
No, you
the
shouldn't
monkey,
keep a monkey.
can like open the microwave.
But it's
and
really busy. It's not just hanging out in a cage. You know, it goes to the shops with you. You know, it's like doing your ATM and stuff.
yeah,
It's busy.
Does it do your tax returns?
It knows how to work a microwave. It cooks your dinner for you.
I wouldn't want to be around a monkey that knew that much.
This is actually, you're not worried about the monkey's welfare. You're worried about it knowing too much.
Yeah.
Once it knows too much about the modern world.
But what I don't
Take it
get
down
is
from
that all
inside.
the monkeys I've seen always have to wear nappies. So if you can teach how to microwave, surely you can teach it to not to have toilet training.
No, I think it's so you don't have to look at its penis.
Oh, okay.
We'll put little pants on.
Yeah.
Give
Get
it some
give it something
dignity.
classy. Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't you want it in tops and tails?
Yeah. No, because then it's a monkey butler, and that's just.
Oh, have you seen that new TV show? I think I've talked about the
Monkey
guy,
Butler?
They got the monkey from The Hangover, and he's like a main character in the TV show, and he's doing stuff.
Does it have Joey from Friends?
No.
It should. That'd be a good show. I'd watch that. What else? What about what other waves are there?
So you could see, well, electromagnetic waves, so radio waves, all the way up to
Gravity waves, Fred? Isn't that the great mystery?
Nobody can measure them. With
What
like
if you
a
could?
ball.
What if you could?
see
What if
it?
you could see radio waves? What if we had a way of, tuning in to radio?
Yeah, well, you'd better be like seeing things. I guess it would be a lot fuzzier, you know, because they're so spread out, right? They sort of diverge so quickly that they don't. It's not like you can see. Everything would be really fuzzy. It'd be like this really foggy, cloudy.
But would
thing.
you perceive it as a sound? What could you perceive it as?
It'd
I mean, you could perceive it as
weird
anything.
because they have like a. Yeah, I think it'd be a sight. Well, I mean, because you could like.
Well, we could be perceiving.
No, it'd be
light
like
as
I think it'd be
sound.
like a sound because I don't think you'd be able to. You wouldn't have the resolution in your head to figure out where it's coming from very well. Probably even worse than sound, you know. So you can see things because light travels in very straight lines and doesn't spread out much. Whereas I think a radio wave, it spreads out so much it'd just be kind of like this sort of
like a
thing,
fog.
like this background all around you. So you can kind of hear where things come from, but you can't be like, you know, it's exactly there. So I think it'd be like that.
What other things? What other things are going? I'm just fascinated by this notion of like this invisible world that's pulsing around us. Like
See,
radio
gravity?
waves always freak me out. Even Wi-Fi, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, all this information's like all around me and moving through me.
So you could sense Wi-Fi.
That's the thing. Like if you know the Tesla system, you just have electricity going through.
Yeah, but that doesn't sound
I
good.
don't think it's good, you know.
But what's the difference
People-
between
people
electricity?
don't
What's the
even-
difference between
people
electricity
don't
and
like-
Wi-Fi?
What you mean in Edison's? I mean Tesla's thing, or
Yeah.
just generally the intensity.
Okay.
So Wi-Fi needs like a little signal, so this little tiny thing just gets little things. People freak out living under power lines. You think they wouldn't freak out just with like a gigawatt blasting through them?
Well, they had Survivor Man on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he says like when he's out in the forest and he's like walking under high voltage power lines, he can like touch the ground and get electrocuted. The audience at home for just rolled his eyes.
There's like a buzz. You can hear them, but that's just the sound of the transformers.
But you can feel it
don't-
in
they
the
don't do
fillings,
anything.
metal
But it's
fillings.
completely safe.
Yeah. Well, it's like there's like radioactive particles blasting in from space at all sorts of crazy.
Wouldn't it be a pretty easy thing to test? Like have some animals living under the power lines and have some animals not under, and then compare the results over their lifetime.
They've done it, and there's no statistical significance to like primary schools under power lines and stuff.
Okay.
Just the energy's not that great.
What about the hum?
The hum's the sound caused by something just buzzing in the.
So it's just air rolling over the wires.
No, there's like this, like transformer, which is like changing the current back and forth 50 times a second, and so it's kind of just like rattling a bit and making this buzz. So it's just like it's like how a speaker makes noise. It's just something.
What about air temperature? Could you see air temperature? I guess we can already perceive it.
Yeah, infrared.
What's like infrared.
I don't even get how infrared works. That's amazing. You know what they were doing after Hurricane Sandy, right? All the telephone wires under New York just got flooded, and there's just like, because there's 20 million people, they just have billions of cables, and there's no way of knowing, like, even when it's not been washed away by a hurricane, it's hard enough to know what each cable does. So they had to walk around with an infrared camera trying to look for cables that have been damaged by just being slightly warmer than the others from extra friction. What do you call it?
Extra resistance.
Extra resistance in the cables. I'm just like, how does a camera see that? It's crazy.
It's just a higher. So I'm going to go buy one of these cameras if we're looking into them. So it's just a longer wavelength of light. So,
but it's outside our visible.
So you can see, I think, from about 400 nanometers is like a deep purple that you can barely see, through to about 800 nanometers, which is like a very deep red. And so it goes like green, blue, yellow, all the way through. So then you can go up to 1,000 nanometers, which is a tenth of a millimeter. No, sorry, a thousandth of a millimeter. And then you can go all the way up to however far you want. So it's just like another form of... Just because your eyes aren't sensitive to it, it's freaky. But we've got lasers. You just have a little card and it glows like there's light there. And
but
we actually have.
We have to really start thinking about that, like Predator, because all these drones will have infrared sensors.
Yeah, so I was trying to buy one of these infrared cameras that you basically, because it doesn't get absorbed by water, so when there's clouds, you can just see straight through the clouds. It's just like a camera like any other camera. I mean, they're fucking expensive, but...
So is it just a different filter?
Exactly. It's a different... So normal cameras are made of silicon, and basically if light is between whatever it is, I think it's up to about 1,000 nanometers, 500 nanometers. If it hits the silicon can kind of absorb that light and spits out an electron. And so and that's just how any camera works.
So
and it's totally not, but then
when
if you just
I get my camera
material,
and turn on infrared mode, that's just a simulation.
No,
effect.
that's because the camera is actually sensitive past where your eyes are sensitive.
Yeah.
So they chuck a filter on the front of it, or they do something in post-processing, whatever, to stop that coming through. Otherwise, all your images would look green. Not green, but be distorted. So then they just take that filter away.
I mean, a lot of cinematographers use infrared filters to get an effect.
Yeah. So that'll be slightly changing the way a camera appears. Just change how colour appears to the camera.
So infrared's at the high end and ultraviolet's at the bottom.
Infrared is at the lower. It's a longer wavelength, but it's lower energy.
Okay.
So it's when things get hot, they put out. So imagine I have a piece of steel, and you're in a perfectly dark room. It's putting out infrared radiation, but you just can't detect it, and it's so low intensity that you can't really feel it. And then when it gets hotter, like radiant heat. So if something's hot, but you're not touching it, you feel the hotness just on the bit of you that's facing it. That's just the infrared radiation going into your skin. And then as you heat it up, it starts to glow red. That's because the radiation is now at a point where your eye can see it. And then it starts to get hotter and hotter and hotter, and it goes white because it's got so much radiation, it's covering
the entire
spectrum. And if theoretically you heat it up and up and up, it would go blue, and then it would go basically invisible again, I guess, because it would be spewing out. I wouldn't go visible because the intensity would be so high, but yeah, it would move all the way up into...
but it wouldn't move up, it would fill the whole spectrum.
Yeah, so it's kind of spread out and get a lot more intense, which is why it's like a bright white, and it's like a dull red, and then it's like no infrared.
So in theory, if we could detect a broader spread of wavelengths, when we were looking at this thing heating up, it would go beyond blue hot. It would extend.
Yeah, but blue hot's crazy hot where just things melt. It's like 10,000 degrees. Yeah.
So where's ultraviolet? That's at the opposite end of the spectrum.
That's really high energy.
Infrared. So it's really high vibration, really narrow wave.
Really short wavelengths, really fast,
So
and
what
a lot
do
of
you
energy.
use ultraviolet for? Can you use it, or is it useless?
It's not as useful.
Insects
a lot of
see ultraviolet.
It's not much use.
So if you see flowers that are...
Oh, yeah.
I read this. If you see flowers that are red, they tend to be pollinated by birds. And all the other colours tend to be pollinated by insects. And they often have ultraviolet patterns on them that we can't perceive. So they look different.
Yeah, they have like it all sort of. It just looks like a white
radiating
flower.
marks,
Yeah, but everything flows into the middle. So
but we can't see it. But for them, they look like landing pads. But that's for insects.
Hmm. So there's a bird that can see ultraviolet because like the gerbil urine that it hunts fluoresces. So it can see where these little critters are and swoop down them.
What I still can't get over is like in cricket they use infrared cameras, right, to see if a batsman has hit the ball with his bat.
Yeah.
So they can actually, the footage they show is really just so easily highlights where the ball touched the bat just by the friction that the ball caused.
Yeah, so the ball hits it and then it heats up a little bit. And then because it gets a little bit hotter, it radiates some infrared and you can see it.
I mean, that's nuts. Like, it was touching that bat for like a nanosecond and they can differentiate. Yeah. It blows my mind.
Yep.
What if you guys had goggles that could see infrared? Would you try and...
What's this night vision goggles?
Is it?
Yeah, that's all night vision goggles are.
Oh. I thought night vision goggles, like, they project light
I think
out.
you can get different types. Some of them project an infrared light out.
No, I'm
but
just
that's not
talking
good
about...
if the enemy has infrared goggles because then they see like this headlight walking around.
Yeah.
So I think you can get just higher sensitivity ones, probably more expensive, where they just passively view the...
Okay. Would you like to live like that? See if you could live for a week just seeing...
No, it'd be all right.
Would you be able to see steps?
Because we've got goggles, like there's like these goggles that are laser goggles. So they're like these really horrible colours. Like some of them are bright green, some of them are like fluoro orange because they cut out all the green. So if you're working with a really powerful green laser, you have to wear these bright orange glasses. And with anything, you put them on, it's like, oh, this is horrible. Then after an hour, you kind of forget they're there, and then you take them off, and everything's just like.
The colours are
green,
distorted,
yeah.
Apparently, that's what happens if you wear lenses on your eyes that flip the image. Eventually, your body
it takes
will
about
start off, and then when you
week or
take
something.
your glasses off, it'll be flipped around.
Yeah,
Wow.
should do that, James.
Yeah. I thought about that.
Imagine that, because then when you take them off,
You'd be fucked
you'd
again.
be fucked up. Be like the meager angles.
You know what? I've got private health insurance because I think I need glasses, but maybe I didn't need
Hey,
it.
what was that?
Did I need to get private health insurance to get glasses? I don't know.
I don't know. Did it go in?
No, I think it flew down.
I didn't see. Something attacked Fred's string.
A bug attacked Fred.
James, update on last week with your
Oh yeah,
headscarf.
your milk manning, I'm going to call it. Where you just go around and just
Milkman.
milk manning.
What? Milkman.
Milkman always calls twice.
Oh, the girls.
Girls?
Are you falling in love with someone else now?
No. Wow, I went on the afternoon run today, which I don't do, but I'm just doing to learn it just in the case I have to fill in for someone. And they have some seriously hot at the same office, two seriously hot women that clearly they just like hiring hot women for their receptionists. Because I went there in the morning as well, and they had obviously they only work part time because one was there in the morning, one was in the afternoon. But yeah, no real update on that.
No? You're still considering...
Well, I'm like considering like how should I invite ISS girl to cinema night thing, you know. How I subtly drop off a flyer for the
Have you found out her
movie
name?
night. No.
That's step one. I'd suggest.
I don't know how to do it now.
What? Invite girls to things?
No, to find out her name without being really creepy.
Just go the creepy route.
Just say.
That was always your
Sorry, I didn't
start.
catch your name. Does that work?
Oh,
No, you have to
just
introduce
say
your name as well.
Hey,
You can't have a
my
one-sided
name's
name.
James. What's yours?
Or
Have you
just
guys seen James Bond?
Just say, "Hi, I'm James. What's your name?" What was your name?
That's too crazy, Camel. That never worked.
Or you could mock up some ridiculous form, deliver a special package, and just be like, "Oh, this one has to be
Yeah,
signed."
get it a sign for
Signed.
something.
Sign for something.
Or just make it up and then just have it as an empty
Then you
box.
just sign and she just scribbles something you'll never
No, but
read
you
it.
say, "Oh,
Sign
I need
and
your
print
name
here.
and signature."
Name
Sign, sign
and
here,
signature.
print here.
Just a fake one.
Yeah, just
Yeah, why not?
just an empty box and just pass it to her and
I
just be
don't know
like,
why, but I need you to sign for this today.
Oh no, just say, "Yeah, this one needs to be signed and
And you sign and print your name.
print your name."
I've got Matthew Corbett's signature, the guy from Sooty, who because he bought some beer at BWS and he signed his credit card receipt and I stole the receipt.
So you could also commit credit card fraud.
I guess so. I need to know his number.
You said that used to be a little scam for the girls at BWS.
Yeah.
So then you knew their names.
I still stalk
have a
some of
name
them
badge?
these days. No.
Wear a name badge.
She
And
doesn't
that
wear a
way, if
name
she
badge.
ever refers to you by name, you can be like, "Oh yeah, what's your name?"
Or you know, you
I
could
could
just
give her a really pretty blank name badge and say, "Hey," as a kid.
That's creepy.
Then she has to write her name on just to show it off to prove that she appreciated
Nah,
the gift.
cross the line.
Yeah.
The form thing was passively creepy because she doesn't know that it's creepy.
just
the main
ask her,
badge thing.
just say, "What's your name?"
Nah, I like the schemes.
I thought you were anti-scheme.
Yeah, but it's just
Sometimes they
entertaining.
work though, Fred.
But you haven't
Have
been.
you guys seen the movie Roadhouse?
Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, possibly.
I don't
Everyone
think
talks about
so.
this movie Roadhouse, and I just want to see it now because everyone goes on.
I don't think I've seen it.
We got to wrap up soon.
We do.
Yeah.
Questions of the week.
Oh,
What
I
else?
went to the Steggles
Gross. What?
factory.
Ah,
Why?
why?
Well, like in Osborne Park. We just went to
Aw.
reception.
I went there. I think. It's like,
Why were you there?
no, it wasn't Steggles. It was
Or
like
Ingham's?
Kraft and
Steggles or
they sell all
Ingham's?
these seconds, right? So you could buy like 2 kilos of chicken nuggets for $10,
Yeah.
and they were really good chicken nuggets.
Do they kill the chickens there?
Oh, what? You think they keep like hundreds of chickens?
I
in
mean, the
Osborne
reason
Park?
I wrote this down in my notes is because I walked in this building and there's this real ominous hum. And I'm like, this is probably what hell sounds like. This is this murder factory for animals
No, they don't do. They don't do
Osborne
butcher
Park.
the slaughter in Osborne.
in Osborne Park. So what do they do in Osborne
It's a
Park?
light industrial. It's it's just
Battery chickens.
So they just
wholesale.
store the frozen chickens.
It's just wholesale.
And
Yeah.
offices as well.
Yeah. And they probably send everything out from there
Yeah.
for the state.
Yeah.
It just had a really creepy sound.
Probably. It's millions of walk-in freezers running at once.
Yeah, that's what it'll be.
What other questions of the week do we have? Anything else? Fred, what was yours?
These are questions to me, not by me.
No, it's in yours. What is it?
Imagine if instead of breast cleavage, we had a culture that displayed butt cleavage.
Oh, Fred, we're not answering that. That's just offensive.
You wouldn't even notice.
Didn't
There's
we
probably
have
some other
that
culture
phase?
that's asking that.
Didn't we go through that phase where butt
Like
cleavage
us
came in
personally.
a couple of years ago?
Whale tails.
No, I think that's different. What Fred's talking about, I think, is like, the way cleavage is shown with the push-up
But it
bras,
has
with
like
the plunging.
the bottom of the butt cleavage thing going on. Like a short skirt.
Is there any
It's true.
practical reason for having a large amount of cleavage on show other than for visual image reasons? Like, do you actually feel more like comfortable, like girls like wearing dresses just because there's a bit of ventilation going on?
Is that why girls wear dresses?
No, that's just one reason.
okay.
But that's like an actual practical reason for to wear a dress over pants.
I don't know.
go ask your lady friends during the week and just
And dear
ask,
listeners, if any
or
of you...
write in. Is it? Do you feel more? Is it more comfortable to wear? Is like more free, like kind of like not wearing any underwear, like Free Ball Friday and stuff like that. Like
We've got that at the office.
Your office.
Yeah.
your lunch.
Do you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do it Monday
Oh,
through
you do it.
Friday.
That's right.
You're still doing that?
I thought you went off it for a bit.
No, I've gone off it. I have.
Yeah.
I do keep splitting my pants, though.
Because I don't like cleavage. I find it a bit offensive. I don't like guys not wearing shirts either.
I don't like that.
I'm pro cleavage, shirt neutral.
What about
Really?
butt cleavage?
So do you?
I don't mind.
What do you do? You like staring at it, or do you like putting up with the uncomfortability of having to avoid eye contact with it?
It does. I agree, it gets awkward.
Yeah. So why, unless there's no practical purpose, why do it? I understand, like if you're on a night out, you know, like you're at a club and you're trying to
Pick up.
celebrate being a slut. You know,
Hey!
We're not allowed to slut shame anymore.
that's what I'm saying. We're celebrating.
Okay.
Go ahead, but I'm not talking
But
about.
that's true. That's just like don't dress provocatively in the in the office in everyday life. And if you do, then people are going to look at you.
I just find it very uncomfortable.
Would you be more
And
comfortable with Bon Scott with his banana and short shorts, or like some chick with big tits or with a little slug top walking down the street?
I think it's equally offensive. That's why But you don't see many guys out there trying to wear tight pants.
But it's like no sleeves, and you see heaps of guys wearing tight pants. Yeah,
What about what I used to wear?
Well, yeah, I guess.
and like no sleeves.
I guess you were pretty offended by me back in the day. Though.
Yeah.
I didn't know you hated cleavage.
I feel really uncomfortable with what I'm wearing now. I
That
didn't
midriff
realize.
you're showing as well.
I'm not that big on bikinis. And
Why has male midriff never come into fashion? I guess it has, showing off your six pack.
GTL, man.
Yeah, I don't like bikinis either. But I realise girls like have to get a
back
tan.
to the 19th century, James. You want corsets that are
do
made.
girls like wearing bikinis just to get a tan, or to show off to men, or is it actually feel more comfortable?
I don't know. I can't.
don't know
Why are you
either.
asking these questions?
But you're asking them like, we're going to know the answer to these.
I'm putting the question out there.
Oh.
I'm putting it out there.
I don't know, maybe.
If it's so nice to wear a bikini, why don't you just walk around in a bikini all the time?
Well, why don't you just walk around? I guess you kind of.
I do walk around in what I feel like wearing all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
You don't want to do. You don't want to be in either extreme.
I think you have to take others into consideration, and yeah. But you're sending every visual choice you make is a message, is a means of communication to another human being. So
What if I had a
you're
law
attempting to
saying
communicate something to them.
you had to wear, unless you could prove that you're actually cold, you had to wear every day what you wore to the beach.
Why? So there's like minimum clothing.
Just so people get some sense
I would
of...
have thought it would be the opposite with you. Like you have to wear, unless you
Everything.
can prove you're hot. Like you have to wear a certain percentage
You're
of
like
your
a
skin color.
unitard.
Yeah. Which one did you go for?
If you had to choose a society which wore coveralls,
I'd probably go
Yeah.
for the less one. Not just because everyone would just be a little bit more chilled out. Otherwise, well, but then again, if nobody ever wore anything and then you actually saw a naked person.
life would be pretty boring if everyone was naked.
but what if everyone was in coveralls? It'd probably.
See, I
be
can't
pretty
imagine
Oh,
like,
but
in,
that's the
those,
surprise when you rip it all off.
in those fundamental things. I don't know if this would happen where they never see any female figure whatsoever. And then on their wedding night, They do.
Yeah, and they freak out. And
they
they're
must
like,
just be
"Ew."
like, really?
Yeah.
Disgust.
Yeah, some of them, they're like...
Female figure, but aren't guys allowed to go to halls?
I don't know, no.
Are they? Are we?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's part of the culture.
I didn't even
Who's
mention the
Only,
concept.
only the girl was the virgin. The guy was just whoring it up while he was young. It's part of coming of age.
I don't know about
Gets
that.
sent to the prostitute at 13.
What? I don't know. Maybe.
Is
Which
that
one
what
would you go
is
for?
that? Speaking of like learning what other religions do, is that what a bar mitzvah is? Like you get
No.
laid for your first time? No.
No, I don't think so.
It's like 13, dude.
Oh, Fred's being
Moth
attacked by
attack.
a moth. It's all right. Just came out of his
Well,
wallet.
should we wrap it up?
Yeah.
I guess so. With that note, on that note,
Thanks
That
for
horribly
joining us
offensive note.
on Fangin' Around. Just a reminder that we have show notes, and I try and put as many links as possible to the stuff we talk about. But if you found something that we're missing, you can add a comment in the comment section of the show notes. You can find them at fangaround.com. If your podcast player supports basics of the show notes feature, there's a link to our full show notes in the episode. Just letting people know, because some people don't realise that you can do that at fangaround.com. You can also find links to all our websites like campbellwhite.com.
yay!
See what he's doing.
Buy my things. It's Christmas time.
He has a store, and
I've
it's
got a store. Buy my
Store.
illustrations.
You can
Can I buy
Buy
that
stuff.
Bon Scott illustration?
Yeah, I should make prints of that.
You should sell. If you've seen any of his live drawings, you can buy that as well.
Yeah, it's Christmas time, bitches.
Fred,
Ching,
what's
ching, ching.
what's happening with you?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I don't sell stuff, so don't even look me up.
If you need some
No,
lasers
no new
tuned.
publications to look out for.
No. If
No.
you're in the field of Lorentz invariants, you
Fred,
can
what are we
cite
going to do
cite
about
my paper?
Jacinta Del Hayes?
What? We can psych your paper?
Cite my paper. It's got 0 citations, motherfucker.
I'll cite it. Watch me.
What do you have to do about
Make
Jacinta
it
Del Hayes?
Well, next time I see her, I'll ask her again.
So, but what, you'd have no guarantee of seeing it.
No.
So can't you
You
email
find
her?
email. I don't have her email. anymore
I
than-
know what an email is, but I feel
I
it's a
bet you
bit
do.
weird that I know what an email is. Not, it's public information. Like it's on,
It's on
her
her
website.
website, yeah. I can email her again and ask. Anyway.
So because the people want to know, Fred. The people
The
want to know.
people. If you get one request, listeners, one request from anyone except James, I'll instantly do it.
Ryan's, please.
Ryan's,
write in.
please email.
Number
tweet
one
us,
fan Zoe, please write in.
or
The moth.
It's Mothra. It's back.
The cutest of giants.
or Koza. You can
Yeah,
write
any
in.
of you
Request
guys.
Jacinta Del Hayes. It'll be well worth it.
Nat Will?
You're going to have to cut Feminist Corner.
Why? No, it's going to be all about Feminist Corner.
We need her.
We're going to get to the bottom of this science is a girl
unplug it.
thing
Unplug it.
where she's on.
Yeah,
We want to see her from her perspective. Is it's offensive to her? Fred's not a microphone, so we'll wrap it up. Thanks for tuning in.
Adios, beautiful
We broadcast
people.
live
Write
on
to
Gibberish
us.
FM. If you want to join us, we have a chat room and everything. And like tonight, Campbell was drawing live online to
Just
the
a
webcam.
little bit. Just a little.
So that's the kind of wackiness we can get up to while listening to us live. And sometimes we check our phones to see if we got any messages. Ryan did tweet in to
Did he?
Tazra tweeted in to say, "I liked a response to my mail."
The massive argument about.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Ryan, for not completely answering your question. It's just
tweeting. People was tweeting and then you just get to it at the end.
he says, "If I send mail again in the future, I'll make sure it's more straightforward." No, it's fine, Ryan. Send whatever you want, and we'll just try and get better at filtering it to what we need.
I think I made a pledge at the start of this that we'll read anything.
Yeah, we'll read anything.
anytime. I stand by my pledge.
Yeah. We'll catch you around.